Dreaming of a white Christmas.
Just like the one I used to know.
Oh,
It's
God.
the middle of summer.
I don't know why that song just popped in my
That
head.
song has no weather at all. Like you can just sing it whenever.
Tim Allen
sing it
in
so randomly.
Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
That's where that song's from. I mean, you probably heard it elsewhere, but that's the quintessential place to hear that song.
No, I think of Home Alone where Kevin is like shaving and like
Shaving.
smacking
Yes,
himself.
that was it. Yeah.
It's in that
That's
movie
what
too?
Yeah.
That's where it got all popular. It was probably that movie.
Shit. All these wonderful Christmas movies. See,
Ugh.
England would never make this many Christmas movies because they don't believe in Jesus and the fruits of Santa Claus's labor, who is a byproduct of Jesus's righteousness.
And the free market
Do you
system.
know why Santa Claus wears red?
Why does Santa Claus wear...
Because originally he wore green, and then Coke changed him to red to be part of their marketing campaign, and he stayed red.
Those fucking geniuses.
That's what the free market does. It improves on bad products and makes them better. I don't see the problem here.
No, I was gonna say it's because in England there isn't a war on Christmas, so they don't have to keep cranking out movies about it.
I mean, you guys don't get to see it, but we do have a newspaper called the Daily Mail, which is basically, if you guys could buy this every day, it's like the compendium of people we hate and their opinions. And it's just like that every year they're like, like it's vaguely anti-Muslim, vaguely anti-brown people. It's supposed to be pitched at sort of the core of British values, and it's just the most horrible right-wing scaremongering rag ever. And they're always like, it's terrible that in Britain we can't wear crosses to work or fucking, celebrate Christmas anymore. And it's never like that. No one's doing that, ever. No one in the government is ever saying you can't celebrate Christmas. Ever.
But you must say happy holidays. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, you must, or you'll be up in front of the committee.
Oh. Fucking bastards. Well, I'm excited to start the show. The best goddamn podcast in your sub box. We've been recording that Christmas bit. That was pretty funny. It just spontaneously happened. What are you going to do? Just get 5 beautiful men in a Google Hangout, and we will eventually start being entertaining at some point. I'm extremely excited because I turned down sex for this show. Granted, my hand wasn't too torn up about it, but our sponsor this week...
I was going to say I wasn't in the mood.
Our sponsor is Jeff Spicoli, which I had to look up. He isn't actually the real Jeff Spicoli. And sorry to break it to you, unless you are. Are you the actor who played the guy in that movie called... What is that? One of you old people know this movie, right? Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's basically it's a character from that. But our sponsor is a Call of Duty player who goes under the alias of Jeff Spicoli. He has a good taste in movies because supposedly that's a cult classic or something. I don't know. Before my time, I'm not as old as him probably. He plays.
You've never seen it?
It's not important to. With all of the shows and shit you don't watch. Please do not come at me without seeing some cult classic coming of age 80s movie, you old prick. Jeez, I'm in my 20s.
If you don't watch Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad, you're not allowed to have an opinion.
Jesus Christ. But who does have excellent opinions, of which you should check out in the link in the description or annotated on screen, is Jeff Spicoli. He plays Call of Duty like every other person on YouTube. How original, I don't, so I don't know why you're here. But you also plays Battlefield, so he has a little bit of respect there. He likes to rip off Eddie in his style of commentaries and disguise it as his own, but without an accent. That's great. At least, he's not like some people we know. And The Call. Really enjoy the show. Cheers. And you can find him annotated on screen or link in the description. Jeff Spicoli, nice guy. I would click that if I were you. We have 2 guests for double the penetration. One, the first, deserves to be mentioned first because the other kid has been hanging around too much. Okay. Anyway, GamingEthos, I believe, is commentary on OP, just like everyone else in this call.
Apparently, yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
It's been fun. It's been a pleasure. Sounds like I'm leaving, so I'll see you guys later. But thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
What do you do exactly?
Well,
not like in life.
What do I do? Well, I would
Well,
go
in
off
life
story.
too, whatever. Just
Yeah.
Just
give us
spill
a
the
brief
beans.
bio.
Sum it up. I just post whatever the fuck I'm feel like posting. Sum it up really stupid fast. I post a moments type of thing, which is kind of like just a bunch of moments that just people have gaming. So it's not necessarily like funny moments. Like there'll be sad moments, there'll be happy. So I mix that up. I do like a news and a comedic style. I do reviews, and then I do. God, I don't even know what else I do on my channel. I do some other shit, but most of the time I'm either high or drunk to even know what I'm doing. But most of the time it comes out the way I want it to. So I think I'm doing what's right.
I really hope we got you in full character today, and I hope you're both of
Yes.
those things right now.
Yes.
Okay.
The Swans can testify. I am off the wall in a lot of my videos.
And high and drunk right
special
now, I
content.
mean. That was my point.
Well, off of life. That's
Oh.
that's what I mean.
Oh,
Off of
gotcha.
life. I should have specified, but yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, you used to have a series called 3 a.m. where literally you'd set your alarm clock, wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and just commentate whatever you were thinking.
Yep.
Like, that's the type of crazy
Yep.
shit.
No fucks. Not a single fuck was given at all. And I just uploaded. I didn't even edit it. I just said that's what it is.
Kind of the interpretive dance of gameplay
Yeah.
commentary, I'm guessing.
Pretty
Okay.
much.
You
Pretty
have to
much.
find that muse at 3 in the morning.
Mm.
Over. Speaking of underage drinking, Sneako, how's it going? Returning to LCP.
Thanks for having me back for the 6th time. It's a privilege being surrounded by my
Oh, you've been
lovely
counting.
internet parents, Eddie and Frito,
Well, you haven't been around much.
your internet love child. This is like my 6th time on the show. I haven't counted completely, but somewhere around that. Brian's my creepy uncle. So I got the whole family
Sweet.
around here. Back
Yeah, you gotta be
again.
careful with them uncles, dude.
Yeah, you never know. You never know with them.
We are available on iTunes and on Zune and on Spreaker, so we're all over the place. We're basically just propagating our sound worldwide. So if you're within earshot of a speaker device, you'll probably hear us. No, you won't.
What is the other things that people want us to get on? Or
Stitcher. I sent in the application. I'm on the waiting list, apparently, Stitcher. Call me back. Call me back.
I
left
thought
you-
we had something there, Stitcher. Strangers in the night, and it's just.
I mean, who
No
leaves
callback.
voicemails anymore anyway? It's like, listen, if I don't pick up the phone, just fucking text me, man. I don't want to listen to your voicemail. Just text me saying, call me, maybe. Fuck, I gotta get that song out of my head.
Let's get into some gaming news, children. Something we've been meaning to talk about. I think this happened actually 2 weeks ago. We just were so busy with other nerdy endeavors. EA and DICE talk lessons learned with unacceptable BF4 launch led to some very tough decisions about what we're doing. Oh my God, Brian, give me the rundown of, because since you're the closest thing we have to a developer and potentially feeling sympathetic towards these people. Essentially, they're saying, "Whoops, our bad. That whole game, that whole like $120 you spent. We really don't know what we're doing. I'm so sorry."
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it last week where DICE was just like, we don't know what made Battlefield Bad Company 2 so great, but we're trying. EA kind of had shots fired at a lot of people in this interview with, I don't know who this guy is, some fucking talking head for EA, but he basically said DICE had a lot of time for this. Last year was a very unique situation, and we had to build a game on an unfinished platform with unfinished software, and some things couldn't get done till the very last minute because the platform wasn't ready to go. So apparently that's why the game was released in a buggy as fuck kind of state. But I think we all know that the problem is too many people pre-order games, and it kind of forces developer and publishers' hands a little bit there. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But they also took shots fired at Call of Duty, which I think was pretty interesting. Here's the exact quote. We want to be the company to push boundaries. There are some companies out in the industry that take the more conservative approach, but I want to be a company that pushes to lead and innovate and be creative. So I definitely think that shots fired at Call of Duty because we all know it takes them a year to do Control-C and Control-V. So.
Okay, someone needs to explain to this guy the definition of irony, that you go on a ranting session about how you're going to push the boundaries and envelopes for a sequel named Something 4. I don't mean this badly, but you can't say that if you're remaking the same game every 2 years instead of every year. It's so hypocritical for these fucking marketing people. Don't get me started. Oh, I won't stop.
Artistic integrity is a relative thing, Eddie. If the guy next to you is Hitler...
Yeah, some people have it and some people don't.
And
It's very relative.
Fair enough. It just totally pulled the rug out of that analogy I was attempting to bring. But.
Well, I mean, they're still making updates to the game, though. At least DICE is showing that they give a shit still about fixing their broken as fuck game. They've got the CTE program, and I think Ethos, you said you were part of the CTE, right?
Yes, I am fixing the game for you guys, slowly but surely.
So
I promise.
blame you.
Yes, can send all of your insults, and any patch that comes out and you don't like how we nerf something, then yeah, I was probably the person that said it needs nerfing. So I'm sorry ahead of time.
Have they changed anything big from that?
Yes, there's a lot of things that are changed. One being netcode. Yeah, they said that netcode patch was the big deal. Yeah, they lied. The big ones on the CTE, they've totally been messing around with the netcode completely. It runs like butter, so I mean it works. They let us try the Dragon Teeth weapons out, which are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't tried the maps for Dragon Teeth, but from what I've seen, they look really cool. So I mean, I guess you can go get that. Honestly, I play the CTE more than I do the actual retail, so that says a lot.
Now, they also, besides the bubble, they also are making tweaks to things like suppression and how rush works with, game balancing, who gets vehicles on one side and, other shit.
Suppression is gone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Suppression is gone.
Well, suppression
Literally.
is gone. Suppression is gone for automatics.
Yes.
It will still heavily affect sniper rifles.
Yes, that is true, and also
Even better. Thanks, DICE. Thanks for making it even better.
You're the
Alright,
snipers
all
even more.
the
Good
red
job,
gun
DICE.
guys, they get no suppression, but they can still two-shot me across the map with an SMG, and then my guy's like fucking got autism or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. My fault. And we also decided that it was best that we remove recoil. So visually, there is no longer recoil, but it still exists. I know that takes a while to wrap your head around, but
How's that possible?
so okay, so I can't explain it unless you literally feel it yourself.
No, I can.
Here's my question: is it kind of like Counter-Strike, where you're
Yeah,
aiming?
it's like the gun doesn't like you know how like
where it
now like
goes.
the gun will kick up.
Yeah.
Now that's gone. Like the gun will be like still, but the bullets will still go wherever wherever it's supposed to go recoil wise.
Yeah.
So you won't get disrupted by your sight going in the middle of your eyes or some crap like that.
So, like, if you have a reticule, and it's especially noticeable on the Cobra one, so it's like a T, yeah?
Yeah.
So, whereas before, when you were shooting, the T would move with the sight, right? So you had visual recoil. And now they've changed it so that the reticule in the middle is always where the bullet will go. Instead of looking, it kind of looks a bit weird when you first see it, because basically the reticle doesn't move, right?
Yeah.
So the sight can be moving up and the reticle stays in the same place. And it looks a little weird, but basically where you're pointing that dot is where the bullet will go, always. So they've swapped that visual detail around. So they're like things like recoil and like where the gun is going to, like how it's going to spread and stuff like that. That's all still the same. But it's just that you have better visual feedback of where you're shooting.
Yeah.
Just
It takes a while to get used to, but it's you can pick it up pretty fast. I picked it up like at first it was like, what is going on? Like I thought my gun was glitched or something, and then I realized, oh, like I have to now like match it. Like burst firing is like stupid easy now. I think that's what they were trying to do, but I don't know.
I might have to reinstall that shit then. And,
Yeah.
and test out this
Just
new
play the
game.
CTE.
Just in time for the new Battlefield game to come out, that the last one works. They're really sticking it to those Call of Duty
Oh, yeah.
devs who never get it right on their first try.
But no, it's a different studio. No,
But-
you're kidding.
But to me, the problem with the whole innovation thing is that, are you telling me that there was some sort of innovation and artistic creation that you attempted to do that made the netcode bad? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Brian, does this make sense? To me, this sounds like bullshit. I'm sorry.
It sounds like they were trying to do too much with the Frostbite 3 engine, and the engine's fucked up. Like
Which
the
is what I said.
Levolution.
I
Well,
said this.
I'm taking this from my co-host, Eddie the Chump. They tried to do things like Levolution, and they fucked up, and they didn't have enough time to test it because apparently, I guess Xbox and PlayStation stiffed them on testing things on the next-gen consoles back when this game was being developed. But then again, like Call of Duty Ghosts, I don't think there were very many problems with it on the next-gen platform, so I don't buy that. I don't buy that argument at all. I mean, the game is fundamentally flawed, but there aren't bugs. That's the difference I'm talking about there.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to make a well-functioning game, but when it's that simple, though, I would give them that credit. There's not a lot of processing going on in Ghosts. I mean, come on. People barely even move. When you refreshes the screen in order to like repaint the image, whatever frame or whatever, there's not a lot of processing that's required because nobody's moving.
And there's a lot less
moving.
And there's a lot less to keep track of because it's a hit scan game. There's no projectiles to keep track of. There's no buildings that blow up, although there is fucking trees. One tree in a goddamn forest that falls down.
Or an elevator. You might take a stroll up just on a whim. Bing!
But yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, that they fucked it up. They should have pushed back the release, but I'm going to go pound the pre-order hammer again. Stop pre-ordering fucking games. Just stop doing it. It's no good for the gaming industry.
Well, I mean, I also think... I don't know if pre-ordering is responsible for why they rushed it. I think why they rushed it is because they didn't want to compete with COD in that sales window, but they wanted to be out before Christmas. So they didn't really have too many options, either come after COD or come before it. And they obviously made the decision to come before it, as they did with Battlefield 3, I think. I think it was like 2 weeks early. So for them, that's their economically viable window. I mean, it's just a
but at the same time though, if you pre-order a game, right, you're basically sending a $60 contract that says I expect this game on October 28th, if that's when Battlefield 4 was, right? So say EA is racking around the idea of pushing the date back to some other time, and oh shit, all of a sudden Joe Schmo who just pre-ordered your game now needs that money that he pre-ordered to go do something else and realizes, fuck, well, this game just got pushed back. I don't need to pre-order this game anymore. I'm going to have the $60 or whatever it is, take it back, go do something with it, and maybe I'll buy the game later. So you're directly taking money out of the pockets of the development companies and the publishers when you cancel a pre-order, as opposed to if you just sell back a game to GameStop, the publishers and the development companies, they already got their fucking money. Now you're just dealing with the retail marketer or GameStop. That's why if they push back a release date on pre-orders, they are literally fucking themselves out of their own money.
But imagine
no. Right. I think, although the points that you say that are logical, the bigger reality, the crushing financial reality, is that they have very specific times to sell this game, right? And those are more important to them, getting their game out at the right. There are very few gaming juggernauts, right? There are actually very few. And we always go on about, oh, it's the age of sequels and big blockbuster AAA titles, but really there's only, on console anyway, in FPS, there's only 2 or 3. And they've all got to come out. They all know that just before Christmas is the best time to come out. That is a much more pressing pressure on development than anything else. Above and beyond pre-orders, above and beyond anything. If they miss that window, then their game could potentially flop. Titanfall came out after and didn't do as well. If Titanfall was pre-Christmas, it might have done better. Because
the sales on Titanfall were fine. It's just people doing...
Titanfall sold.
Titanfall sold well.
Not really. It can't sell fine compared to COD or Battlefield. It's only on one platform. Well, it's on PC, but hardly anyone buys it. But
hey.
I'm sorry, but I'm just talking like raw numbers. Like, I'm not making a value judgment about PC gamers, but like the numbers are much smaller for shooters.
But imagine if Battlefield delayed their game to like February or January when everyone was running away from Ghosts. and everyone was complaining about it. And
Yeah,
imagine
but
how well it could have done then.
that's
Because
true.
everyone was leaving that, and they wanted a new first-person shooter. They're waiting for Titanfall. Like, oh, what should we get? Everyone hated Ghost by those 2 months. If they just delayed it till then, I think Battlefield probably could have had most of its bugs fixed.
But that's with the miracle of hindsight. They couldn't, as the developer, and as the publisher, they can't tell whether their rival's product will be a piece of shit.
They can, though.
They
can't.
Well,
This happens every year with Call of Duty.
Yeah, we know that.
Every year in January, everyone starts complaining about the game, and everyone says it's the worst game ever, and they all say the one before was better.
No, this one has performed, especially in people playing it. The raw numbers of people playing it has performed the worst by a long, long way. And no one has expected COD to die this quickly this year. No one. Not Infinity Ward didn't. No one expected it to die.
But okay, I think everybody really is just giving their opinion on why the Titanic sank. Like, was it the captain who didn't plan out to see the iceberg? Was it the iceberg's fault? Was it like, yeah, there's millions of reasons. Whatever. What I want to know though, and obviously I'm going to ask our developer guy in the Google Hangout, the IT dude, Brian. Is it even feasible to imagine that a few months delay would sort of like, is that development time intensified? Because my argument is they've had all this time to work and fix the game. Are patches harder to make than pre-launch changes?
Yes.
That'd be the only assumption. Okay. So that is fair to say if they had 3 months of solid development rather than patching, that it would be...
Bugs are much more difficult to find later on in the life cycle. Like, if you catch a bug early in development, it costs a lot less to actually fix it, you know, because then you can change the design of it in order to do this, that, or the other thing. Once something's already there, the design is already out there. You can't significantly modify the design of a particular algorithm without, you know, what's the word, you know, consequences elsewhere.
Right, which Battlefield has, obviously, because when they fix something, they fuck something else up.
Yeah, so it's the whack-a-mole effect. Fix one thing, 3 other things pop up. That's why it's easier to fix things in development, because you could take those kind of risks. Whereas if it's later on, that's not the way to do it. So
I just think it's the reality of the industry. I mean, we as consumers can obviously do, and I'm not disagreeing with Brian. I think that pre-ordering does damage.
Two sides of the same coin, I would say that's.
Yeah, but I just think it's the way the industry is, especially with a AAA shooter. I just think that they have, for better or worse, they have these dates fixed in their mind, and they will not budge on those. Like, they just won't, because they'll see it as a. I mean, we've talked about before the shareholder reaction to how bad the game launched. You could say that if they pushed the game back to February when it was supposed to be out in October, the shareholder reaction would have been worse. Which is worse for them.
Yeah, they're damned if they do in both situations. I mean, they crammed before the final, basically, is what happened.
Yeah.
You know, balls are going to be dropped, unfortunately. It was just who were you going to piss off? They made an executive decision. Ultimately, the consumer paid more, probably. But you could make the argument as well, if they damage controlled it correctly, they can turn it into a positive for PR, whereas now, ultimately, it's a negative on EA and DICE, but maybe they think, oh, well, we're too big to fail kind of thing, like, oh, well. So everybody doesn't have much faith in the product, but they're not worried about that. They're more worried about shareholders rather than consumer trust, which Jim Sterling, I don't know if any of you guys watch him, Jim Sterling has a wonderful way of phrasing this. Consumer trust is a finite resource. Like, you can shit on your consumers many, many times, but eventually they're just going to say, okay, I'm done getting shit on. Like, because other things are going to come up, especially when in entertainment media. They're not going to just keep buying your game and your franchise when there's better things to do. Eventually they'll get over that.
I don't know. I just think if I was an EA executive, I would have just been within the first 2 weeks of Battlefield 4 launching, and all the YouTubers who at that point we hadn't paid off, so they were giving honest opinions, and then with Ronku we wrangled their opinions in and controlled the message more. But with those first 2 weeks were terrible for EA and DICE. And at that point, I would have said, fine, it's terrible. We're going to work on it. Premium is half price for everybody. And if you've already bought it, you get a refund. Simple. You go, look, we'll take the financial hit. We recognize that we've done something wrong. And it's not even like they're not making profit out of that. That's just
then,
half price.
Then, Eddie, you still have the shareholder problem, which is the other problem. If you're not making money for it if you're handing out premium for half price and all of these sales that you thought you were going to get, you now no longer have, the shareholders are going to be pissed off at you too. So you kind of got no way out if you fuck up this badly.
I don't think their margins are that tight. I think, especially with DLC, that their margins are actually, because it's all digitally distributed stuff, and it's only like a couple of maps and a couple of guns. It's not.
It's easy for the communist to say like, oh, they can just afford to not take less money because that's just the right thing to do.
They can, though. That's not me being a communist. That's just saying
at least
a fact.
in America, I don't know which law EA falls under, to be honest, but you have a legal responsibility to maximize profit for your shareholders, and that you are accountable by law if you do not do that. That's the problem with basically a lot of.
But you could argue that you are. You could argue that you are maximizing,
and they could argue you don't. But it's a fuck. Again, they're fucked on both sides. Like it was just a quagmire, if you will.
They got fucking spit roasted by circumstance.
Yeah, well, shit happens.
Well, do you think that Hardline is going to have this bad of a launch, or do you think they're actually going to have lessons learned from this, or do you think it's just because
it's a smaller
Hardline is an expansion pack of Battlefield 4, basically?
Well, Frostbite 3 is a year older, and I think that's good for the engine and therefore the games that are made from it. And it's just, like Frito said, it's a smaller game.
It's a less ambitious game.
Yeah.
That whole artistic creativity innovation thing, probably a lot less on that. More of a reskin.
Feels like a safe zone, like like a safe game that you can like go to, like you know you'll get some money for it. Because I mean, let's be honest, they fucked us straight up. They did for Battlefield 4, and people don't like getting fucked, and that leads to people not wanting to buy your product. And I mean, if they screw up Hardline, that's like, I know for me that would be the final straw. Like I think the final straw for me would be if they fucked Battlefront. If they fucked like Battlefront 3 up completely, I would be done with DICE and EA like as a whole. Like I wouldn't, like I'm close to that with Ubisoft, but I'm close to that really with DICE. But stating it's like you said, like the Frostbite engine, it's grown, and believe it or not, the CTE not only helps Battlefield, but it helps a lot of Frostbite games, because there's a lot of glitches that you can see through multiple Frostbite games, and a lot of those technical glitches can be fixed ahead of time. That's why I don't think like Hardline. I think Hardline at launch is going to be a little bit better than BF3 at launch. I don't know how it was on console because I got it on PC, but it was pretty smooth on PC from what I remember, but definitely better than Battlefield 4. So I'm expecting it, because I mean, even in the beta, I didn't crash or anything or have any like huge issues with it when I was playing it. So I was like, oh, I guess this is they fixed a lot of issues that 4 had, since it's literally running on close to the same engine. But it's a little bit too late, honestly.
All right. Yeah. I'd say it's about time to move on to a game that has no flaws, but got a patch anyway. Brian's game of choice, Titanfall. You were so excited to tell us about the Titanfall patch.
Dude, this new game mode is amazing. I love playing it. I talked to Eddie before we went on the guys, motherfucker. Did you guys slip an Ambien into your fucking coffee and shit? Like, what's going on now?
I'm here. Don't worry.
Sorry, I fell asleep. What were we talking about?
No, the new game mode, man. It's not Guardian from Gears of War. Jesus, fuck you, Eddie. I think it would be an amazing competitive game mode, because one player from each team gets kind of marked, so you could see them on the minimap, and you could see they got like a big kick me sign above them when they're walking around the map. But the guys who are marked, they kind of have full minimap vision, so it's kind of like they have a VSAT. So if you work together with the guy who's marked, and the guy who's marked, calls out where the other players on the other team are, it's fucking awesome. It's a shit ton of fun. I think that this game mode could translate really well into competitive Call of Duty. Could you imagine like 4v4, you know, one guy is kind of like the team leader, the alpha male, just shouting out like where people are on the minimap, and you have to have the other 3 minions go and try and kill the one guy who's, you know, marked. I think that that would be awesome. But I'm a dreamer.
I mean, I have a lot of questions, and I don't know if it's is it worthwhile to go down this path of fully explaining this game mode? I don't know. I don't want to bore anybody. But
Just the one thing I'd like to say is I don't want Titanfall competitive to be like Call of Duty. We've said this before, but if
No,
there
I
was,
know. I know.
you know, I'd want there to be Titans and shit. But yeah, the game mode sounds cool.
is there Titans or no?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's the same as any other game mode, except there's just specific rules, and it's first to 10 points wins.
So yeah, it's not the fact that bots are in the game that annoys me. Bots are fine, right? Bots are fine, but 6v6 is in maps that big with potentially like the thing about Titanfall is it's potentially so hype, right? You've got the improved movement, you've got wall running, you've got all that, but it doesn't have. If it was 9v9, I think I'd still have my Xbox One. I really do. It's just
Sneako, I will break your legs if you kick your mic one more time. I will come over to your little house, your Filipino hut, and I will break your goddamn legs. I love you, my son, but please fucking stop. You're driving me crazy.
Let's let this you off. I don't even.
For the viewers' sake, god damn it, would you have a little respect? God, Mr. Joe Cool
Is
over
it even
there.
that loud? I'm just stretching out my legs on my
I'm kind
desk
of a
trying to
big
be
deal.
uncomfortable.
I'm just gonna, just pop in on LCP, no big deal. Just take my mic every 2 minutes. Just hang out.
You're not at your prep school yet. You're still under our roof.
I still think 9v9 though would be too many Titans running around the
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
map.
Too chaotic.
Yeah, but you can only. All right, each
Well,
team. Can
that's an
only
inherent
have 3
problem with the
Titans at a
Titans,
time.
though. That I'd argue. There's an inherent problem with everybody gets a Titan like in 2 minutes or whatever. That's
Yeah, I
That's a
think that
problem.
instead of a support-like streak, it should be more like an assault-like streak.
no,
where
it's
you
a
have
weight
to get-
streak. That's what it is. There is no, there is
No,
no
but I
score
mean-
requirement. That's the problem.
But that's what I
we
mean. like
all
a-
used to have to fucking wait for our choppers in COD 4, so why can't we just, right, well, I've got my time. Oh, well, there's 3 out on the fucking field, so I have to wait until one's blown up before I can call in my one. Where's the... Oh, I don't have to worry about that because there's 9 other people to shoot in the face.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I hate not being able to call my chopper in Call of Duty 4. Fuck you. I earned that shit.
It will come in, just not right now.
I think honestly, there's like a balance issue, you know, like think of it like if you have one Titan, right? What would happen if you have that one Titan on the battlefield and you have literally what was it 6v6? So 6 other pilots finding different ways of shooting at you, different like Titan weapons and a person rodeoing you. Like it's overwhelming, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean there are certain balance. Well, I mean the patch did balance some of the weapons again, but really the carbine is still by far and away the best thing.
It is.
But I do think that they're like it's funny. Like after 3 months, this patch is humongous. It's changed so much of it. Like user interface has been changed, functionality's been
It
changed.
feels different too.
They gave a reason for people to regen because now you could have more burn cards. This feels like what the game probably should have been when it launched, and this is another like recurring theme of people just put the shit out there in like bare bones capacity because they know that later on they could just patch the shit in anyway.
Yeah. I feel like with Titanfall, like I've had a lot of time to think about it because I was one of the people who I think Brian. I don't know if anybody else knows, but I was a defender of like. I felt like it was like the hype bandwagon for it, but I was one of the people that I had realistic expectations. Like I didn't overhype it. I was like, oh, I know what exactly I'm getting, and when I got it, I was satisfied with it because I wanted functionality over features.
Gimmickry.
Right, and I was like, that's why I still love Titanfall. Is that all these other games like Battlefield Evolution, Call of Duty, all this crap. It's there's too much stuff, and sometimes I just want to play a simplified experience. And I don't play Titanfall as much as I used to, and I don't play Titanfall like all hours of the day like I did at launch. But I'd still say that it's like I thought of it a lot. Like I was trying to figure out why people don't keep playing it, and I think it's like it's something to do with the way the game is played. It's like A to B experience, like how Call of Duty and Battlefield. There's the reason why they're so addicting and so different is like millions of different variables are at play, like so many different things. I think this is what you were saying, Frito, about like the Titans. Is like everybody gets a Titan, and at first I thought like, okay, it doesn't matter because the better players will get their Titans first, but it's like it seems it's like a BioShock. It's like the cycle will continue. It's like you start the game, you kill people, you get your Titan, no matter it's a timing difference, and then after that your Titan gets blown up, you get some kills, rinse and repeat the process. Battlefield doesn't have this process. Call of Duty doesn't, because there's like kill streaks, there's vehicles, there's levolution. There's all these different variables that can change the meta of when you're playing. But for Titanfall, it's always the same experience, or like you never change, nothing changes.
So what you're saying is that those other games have depth that Titanfall doesn't. Right.
Yeah.
Frito, I will give props to this, because Frito was the first of us to say this.
Yeah, I watched his video. I agree.
And let me be perfectly straight. I like Titanfall, but I got bored, and I can't wait to see what they do with the next game.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's a good game. It's a good base for a game, is actually a better way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they build on that, I'll be excited for it. And when I was playing it and I hadn't got bored, superficially the experience was probably the most fun I'd had in a shooter in a long time. Because it did work, and if you were more skilled, you did better. And I liked that. And it plays to what I like shooters to be, which is fast-paced movement, and it's got a bit of Gears of War in there with the wall running and the evasion and all that, which I really liked. And when I hadn't done that for hours and hours and hours, I found it really enjoyable. It's just that other stuff, the added depth that those games that we diss all the time, that we take for granted in those games, isn't there in Titanfall. So if that's ever added, I'll be a massive defender of it, and I will still say I wish it was on the PS4, because it shits on Ghosts, absolutely shits on it, and I would be playing it, and I just think that's a great shame.
Here's something that I was thinking about the other day when I was playing it. I think that in games like Battlefield and in Call of Duty, you kind of have this invisible kind of equalizer almost, whereas in Titanfall, skill wins 99 out of 100 times. So for people that are actually skilled at the game is kind of too easy. Like, I constantly am in first place shitting on kids every single time I play. 9 times out of 10, I'll be the best guy in the lobby no matter what. Whereas in Ghosts, there's so many stupid fucking plebeian things to give to the shit kids that it kind of levels out the playing field a little. And in Battlefield, it's the vehicles, it's the tanks, it's all that other shit. Do you think that, Titanfall suffers from the fact that it is purely, skill wins most of the time?
That's what makes a game addicting. That's what makes you want to keep playing it. And I remember when the podcasts, right when Titanfall came out, I remember how excited Eddie was when he first played it. He was like, you could see it in his face. Like, he was excited to play it. He wanted to play it right there. He didn't want to be in the podcast. He just wanted to go off and play it again. That's what everyone was like, because at the first time, we thought the game was awesome. I remember thinking how great it was when I played the beta. Things like that you described,
Brian.
Brian.
To get into, by the way. Sorry. I guess this is going to be a shit on TheSneak0 podcast. Sorry. I didn't intend for this to happen, but I just want, for the record, the kid paid $40 to get into Titanfall beta, which eventually became free.
Yeah, but he's a young Republican, so money's not important to him. Anyway, you were saying
he's stimulating the economy.
Yeah.
What Brian was describing is what it really needs. Just that playing field that we always hate on, we yell at and rage at during the game, that we complain about, needs to be in the game. That kind of, in a first-person shooter, you need to have stuff like that.
Well, I disagree here. You never need something like a Claymore or an IED.
Oh, hell no.
You want your game to be easy but not cheap, I've said that before, but you do want to have variation, because a lot of the fun in what shooters have become, and where COD doesn't get enough credit for this, is that COD invented that RPG element in shooters. It invented that. And we've become so accustomed to that. Even games like Battlefield, which was a set class game, brought that in. Like they recognized,
Mm.
oh, this adds a huge amount of depth and replayability because you get to experiment and you get to change modes as a gamer. You get to be like, I'm not going to try my absolute hardest this round. I'm going to use the fucking nail gun, or I'm going to use something stupid. Whereas Titanfall is a lot more stripped back and is kind of like, I don't know, it's like fucking St. Anger. It's the Metallica album with no guitar solos.
Yeah.
Which everyone like fucking bangs on about, oh, these fucking wanky fucking solos. But when they're not there, people are like, oh, I miss the wanky solos. You know, so we can't have it every way we want. We've just got to understand, for me personally, when that game gets a little deeper and gets a little bit more exploratory with what you can do in it, then I won't play anything else, probably. Because the COD might be shit. But I don't think I'm going to get hardline. Can I just say that? Like, I love Battlefield 4, actually. Despite all of the bad press, I do actually love Battlefield. It's just, I don't think I'm going to get hardline. Because, again, just no one take me seriously when a game first comes out. Because I'll play it once and I'll be like, oh, that was moderately fun because it wasn't Ghosts. And then I'll make a video saying this game's great. And then I'll play it a bit more and I'll be like, actually, I don't know if I like this very much. So just never listen to me when it comes
Eddie,
to...
I find it a lot easier just to never take you seriously at all. It's much easier to pick and choose than picking and choosing. That's way too complicated. But there's two types of depth that I think Titanfall 2 should improve on. Casual depth or competitive depth. The problem when it irks me a little bit, the argument that Brian made, a lot of people make this, oh, it's so easy, I do really well. I think there's two reasons why you do really well. One, the game modes aren't inherently very competitive, and two, the matchmaking in no way is competitive. I think Titanfall would really benefit from a Halo whatever 2-esque ranking system. But of course they said, oh, we just it's not a competitive game, we don't want any conflict, we don't want you to feel bad about yourself. But when you do that, there's no reward for skill, so there's no conflict really. It's everybody shoot things, we all can have a good time.
I'll just remind the audience that Frito has been playing CS:GO and is now just wants to shit on all of us fucking filthy casuals whenever we talk about anything that we have fun with. He's like, fuck that. Why aren't you covering fucking, White Door and Van over a B-bomb? I don't want to hear any fucking bullshit. Why aren't you on your economy round? Why have you got an AK out, you fucking idiot? What are you doing?
Play the most complex shooter since the beginning of sliced bread. Counter-Strike Go. Yes.
Well,
yeah.
No, I mean, I was gonna say it's like playing combat training in Black Ops 2. Yeah, it's fun for a few games, but then you're like, I'm tired of doing this shit.
I'm tired of feeling so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the problem, because it was like when the game launched, like I was playing with a group of people, and you know how it was if you were pub stomping with your friends, you destroyed every team. Like, unless you went against another team that was thinking just like you were going to destroy and that's what we did at launch. That's why I think the game like died out fast for a lot of people, was everybody was with their friends playing it, and we were all just destroying all these other like solos and like maybe 2 or 3 people grouped. And I've said, and I know, Frito, you brought it up like before you started shitting on the game, when you actually enjoyed it, you were stating how, and I agreed with it, was how it was very similar to a MOBA. And as you know, MOBAs are hella competitive and so forth. And I felt maybe if Titanfall could do this, I don't know why they haven't, but if maybe they made a playlist that was competitive, where it would put you in that ranking tier system, where it was like you play your
a league playlist,
right? And then you go to bronze, silver, and you play with people in that rank. You gain points. That gives you that feeling that you're going somewhere. You want to reach the top, and it gives you like motivation to keep playing.
It's really weird that you say that, because I'll just speak really quickly before you do, Frito. When I play with like Rich and Liam in any sort of competitive playlist, I don't rage because my mind is in the right space to be competitive. And I think that one of Ghost's biggest problems is that it doesn't have league play. It has Clan v Clan, which is kind of similar, but you can leave. Like, it doesn't lock you in like it should do. Yeah, it's not a league play playlist. I think a league play playlist is very important for shooters going forward, especially if they want to grow esports.
But then you get all the fucking DDoSers and shit and all those.
Yeah, you do, but you're never gonna avoid dickheads ever. we're not going to be able to clean the internet of all the trolls. It's just not going to happen.
It's weird. I don't get that on PC. I don't know why. Is it someone in the comments? I'm sure you know this. It must be harder to run a DDoS program while playing on PC because I've played competitive CS:GO, and unless they're just that secure, I don't know. And Dota as well. You would think both games there'd be just as high of an incentive as Black Ops 2 League play, but they do it all the time in League play. How is it possible? I don't get it.
There is a
different mindset, I think. Yeah, different mindset.
No, the douchebags are in both instances.
They are. I will state though, I play a lot of League, and there is this new again, people being dickheads. Somebody, I don't know why they found this, but they found some way of DDoSing a game where literally you could be, and it's happened to me so many times in ranked, and it's so fucking annoying. Where if you're whooping their team, if they have like a DDoSing faggot, they can literally like cause the game to crash, and like nothing gets recorded. So
you can't
do this.
Because it'll crash the game, not the players.
Right, the game will crash, and all the players will literally.
It's the hosting difference. That's why.
Yeah, you can't DDoS a dedicated server.
Right, you can't do that.
Well, you'd have to do the server, like.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't DDoS individual users because you never exchange IPs.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why it's harder on PC.
Unless someone else had to go, I was going to respond to what kind of Ethos said a minute ago.
Go for it.
Okay. You're talking about like a MOBA, and I've talked about this before, so I'll try to condense the topic. But a lot of people attribute getting rewards for a kill in COD, but really MOBAs or RPG games did that first, right? So Dota 1, for those of you history lesson, I played that, was just a mod for Warcraft 3. Then League of Legends came out a couple years ago, and Dota 2 got bought by Valve, the rights, blah, blah. I played Dota 2 as well. But getting, like, farming minions in that is a very important thing. And that's what I would like to see. If they just put a shop where you exchange points for doing things, whether it's put the anti-Titan weapons in there, make them a little stronger, Titan upgrades, any kind of
burn
thing.
cards.
Put the burn cards in there. There you go. That's even better. Simplify the solution. Like there you go. Instead of having like anybody can just pick your deck, your burn card. Hearthstone's popular, so we might as well have trading cards for some reason. Like instead of because they want to put it the ultimate casual route where it's completely random. Instead, put that in a more attention-focused reward system. Where,
so like Blacklist?
Blacklight, yeah. Blacklight does that, right? That's essentially what I think Titanfall should do, and it would improve by volumes in the competitive tension. And then we talked about competitive depth, I think, fairly well. The other type of depth is casual depth, which, people who aren't that good, the type of people that I thought Titanfall was geared towards, what they typically like, other than Brian, because he could use the same gun for literally 6 years. He still uses the TAR-21 and MW2. He's totally fine with it. Doesn't care. Still uses stopping power and whatever. But casual depth. Titanfall doesn't feel like a complete product for $60 plus DLC money when there's free-to-play games out there. Now, I know that you console guys aren't really used to that. You'll be getting Loadout on PS4 sometime.
Yay! It's a great game.
Eventually, or PlanetSide, too.
Not on the fucking VCR.
The VCR doesn't know. VCRs can't run these things. Potatoes can't either. But I'll let you go. But basically, my point is the casual depth of a free-to-play game, whether that's... It doesn't have to be you buy things necessarily. You just put the shit in for free. If it's a full purchase game, why don't you have a bunch of camos? Why don't you have at least double what they have now? At the very least, there should be double of the variety. And it doesn't have to be Battlefield, a bunch of extraneous sites, but it doesn't have to be 5 guns with one relevant attachment on it. That's the problem. There's not that kind of variety. There's no casual weapons. The game is balanced like it's a competitive game where everything works competitively. Everything functions correctly in its spot, but there's no casual weapons to play with. They're all competitively balanced. That's the problem. And if you had that little shop, by the way, where you exchanged points for things, you can have unbalanced things in the shop. You can have a gun that's not balanced in the create a class loadout section, because then you just go buy it, and then when you die, you lose it. That's the problem.
Like a fucking, I don't know, like you could have like the depot idea from Blacklight. It's like you could go to your depot or whatever and go, my next Titan is going to start with damage core. Right, that's what's going to fucking happen. This is an auto damage core Titan. Or
which is a burn card.
Yeah, which is a burn card. Or you get you don't get to pick which Titan you get, apart from at the depot. And you could make the Ogre better than the other two, but more expensive.
Yep.
And you could do all that kind of scaling.
CS:GO economy, holla.
I think that's a good way of looking at it. I just think I'm really excited for what they do next, because being real for a moment is, I think the people that made the game care about making a good game.
Yeah.
I get the sense that the developers are a small team and they couldn't do all the things that we expect them to do, but they give a shit about making a good game. And that's my opinion.
Anything else on Titan Fall? Excuse me. That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to underhand the VCR's #1 game like that. How rude of me.
I will ask. Would you rather? Because I guess this is for all. Would you rather have let's say the Titanfall game where it's not necessary that the game comes out. Let's say they did reduce Titanfall. Let's say at launch they made it. I guess what would you say? $30 would have been fine for that game. Let's say they launched it at 30, and let's say the game's not it's fundamentally it works. Nothing's broken in the game. And then after that, that's what I like about Titanfall compared to Battlefield or whatever. It's not oh, you gotta buy DLC if you want to see new stuff. It's like Titanfall. It's you get new stuff that you can physically see and wield for free, which I think is. Would you rather have that, kind of how free-to-play games are? They'll update you, Guild Wars, free content and stuff, rather than this is a $60 game, but we threw everything at it except for the stuff we're hiding on the disc that you pay for later and stuff like that.
I will say this: I think the fear in doing that. I don't know how I would feel necessarily as a consumer. I don't know, but I think the fear of why they don't do things like that. When you label your game as costing less, it ostracizes you to admitting we're not a full product. That's the problem. Why I think they don't do it. Do you know what I mean? Where it's we're a discount game from launch. It might boost sales, it might work, but I think it doesn't. Do you know how those corporate marketing people are? They're about the image of stuff. I would guess.
I see what you're talking about, but I don't completely agree, because games that don't cost a full $60 price always do well. They always do well too, because more people have access to it. Like Plants vs. Zombies, that first-person shooter game. I don't own it. I'd never played it. That launched at $30, and that did really well. And it was a simple game, and they knew that it wasn't worth the $60.
What does really well mean? For a downloadable game, I guess. Titanfall isn't that.
It wasn't just a downloadable game. You can go buy a disc for that.
Really?
It's the same thing.
I guess I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But as long as they don't spam it with microtransactions, a lot of discount games do that. They're less. They're $20, but then they're paywalls where you have to pay $5 to get this new level or get the new gun. Blah 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 that everyone has. Pay-to-win games.
Do the league system. I think that would have been fun. I would have loved to see maybe, not that necessarily there were different champions or pilots you could play as. That would have been cool, but. Make it where it's not you have to pay money to get it. Just
they tried it in Blacklight and it hasn't worked that well.
Yeah, it's pretty badly implemented. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
because in a shooter, there's so much in a shooter with that much inbuilt customization. There's so much you don't really want to be locked. The heroes they're called in Blacklight. They're very specific playstyle characters, and they're very specific builds. And you don't really want to be locked into that in Blacklight, I find. The joy of Blacklight is constantly fiddling, not staying the same. But that's just
I think something you mentioned before, too, why can't I just pay $40, $60 to unlock everything? No, they want micro DLC, so you pay $600 for everything.
No, it's $1,000 to buy everything in Blacklight. I'm what the fuck, man? Come on, seriously, just give people the option, Platinum pack, $60, 45 quid, done.
Yeah.
People would do that, and people would take the game seriously. Blacklight suffers a bit from its pay-to-win reputation, and it isn't really you can be competitive with just the basic loadouts. In fact, the assault rifle that everyone gets for free is the best gun in the game, but it might not have the best like recoil dampener. It might not have the best sight. It might not have the camo that you want. You definitely won't be able to afford that armor and the fucking heal injector and all that kind of stuff. So in those terms, then yes, that you can pay for things that will give you a battlefield advantage, and by that definition, it's pay to win. So I think people are very, especially in a shooter, I think they're very scared of that. Rightly so, I have to say.
Yeah. I agree with Eddie because I know there's a game called Smite, and it actually uses, it's like League free-to-play model, but there is, and I paid for it just like off the bat once I got the game for free. There is I think it's $30 or $40. It's like that range. You pay that, and they give you every character in the game that comes out and the ones that are already out. So like you will constantly get free, content no matter what. You only pay once, and that's it. It's very
really
simple.
It's not that difficult. Like, if a bunch of fucking idiots like us can sit here in a fucking Google Hangout and thrash out an idea and be like, as consumers, as game fans, I would be happy to exchange these goods for these services. It's not that difficult. It's that they look at it wrong. They look at it like, what is the most possible profit we could get out of this, instead of like, they're short term, and they don't look at how prosperous can this game become.
I mean, look at Guild Wars. That is the greatest MMO model I've ever seen. You pay $40 to $50 once, and you get everything for free. Like, there's no DLC expansion you have to pay for. Everything comes as updates for free, and you only pay $40 up front for your account. And then they give you free content, and then through like cosmetic items, you can pay money for, but never anything to break the game or makes it pay to win. Which I don't understand why not every MMO has taken that, because they're successful. Like, they're swimming in money. Guild Wars 2 is, and I don't know why World of Warcraft and these other MMOs and even shooters, why they don't take this and expand.
Is there other things you can buy in Guild Wars?
Yeah, there's like there's nothing like weapon wise. Like, you can buy like maybe an XP boost to get you faster level, but the thing about that is the PvP, which I think is brilliant. It levels the playing field. So whether I can go into PvP level 1 against a bunch of people who are level like 90s and who've like beat like the whole PvE aspect, it levels everybody's guns. So cosmetically they might look better than me, but all of our guns will be doing the same damage range, so no one feels overpowered. And that leads, just a straight up skill. Like, since those people have played the game longer, they're obviously going to kick my ass compared to me.
It's kind of like a MOBA as well. There's in terms of the functions, of the abilities and stuff.
So I suppose that brings into play like
Wars 1.
Like questions of no, sorry, I cut you off. With DLC weapons, I thought about this the other day, and I was thinking, I was thinking about Dragon's Teeth coming out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get to try new weapons, and I'm kind of like, oh, that's really cool, and there's some DLC weapons that I've really liked, like the L96. I just love, just because. I don't know, I've always loved that gun since Black Ops 1, and it was a DLC weapon, and I mean, there's not so many like broken weapons in Battlefield that have been DLC, but I would certainly argue that the Ripper is verging on it in Ghosts, for the submachine gun category anyway, because it basically becomes an AR with a red dot at the flick of a switch, and you don't need to take Stalker, so it does give you a Battlefield advantage. And I was like, people are paying for that. I don't know how comfortable I am. But then I'm a huge fan of Blacklight, so I can't fucking say anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. It's like when I'm playing the games, I don't really notice it. But when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that is pretty harsh. I think if I didn't have the money, I think I would be a bit like salty about it.
You can never get pay-to-win games or microtransactions correctly. You're going to upset someone, and rightly so. For example, I don't like how I don't own the season pass for Ghosts or any game for that matter, but I don't like how you still have to buy all the camos even though you already have the season pass for Ghosts. I'm not going to buy camos. I'm not going to ever buy any of that. But that doesn't make any sense. You're already paying extra to get everything for the season, yet you still have to pay more money to make your gun look pink. Doesn't make any sense.
What are you going to do? I mean, there's other companies that do it much better, namely Valve, all hail, master and PC race.
Hats for the win.
Well. But like, they have DLC or micro DLC packs and stuff that goes towards the esports events, which I think is the most common sense way to do it, because you feel like you're adding something. You're putting into that $10 million prize pool for the upcoming Dota 2 tournament. Yeah, I put in 10 for that. And I just did. You just, you buy into the compendium, you get in the little club, and you get like little stickers and a few dress me up accessories for the different random heroes, and
it's
you're a part of the
community
team.
building.
Yeah,
it's community building. Like in the FGC fighting game community, there's a lot of people are. The FGC is really popular in terms of numbers when it's like events are streamed on Twitch, but the prize money is fucking peanuts, right? Because no major sponsors apart from gaming peripherals like Razer or something like that. I mean, Monster sponsor Evil Genius, but Evil Genius is like a big team that goes across loads of different games. They don't specifically sponsor the fighting game guys. Yeah. So they just sponsor the team. They don't sponsor just the fighting games. So a lot of people in the FGC are like arguing about how best to get like bigger prize money for the pros and stuff like that. And when I originally heard about the Steam thing and how you contribute to the tournaments, I was like, that is such a genius idea. Why doesn't every game do this?
Character skins.
People aren't smart.
Yeah. But like character skins, this is how fucked up Capcom are, right? So they've got probably the most hype fighting game in the world. They've got both of them actually. They've got Marvel and they've got Street Fighter 4. And they got into loads of controversy because there were costumes on the disc that you bought that you then had to later buy to unlock. And I was just thinking to myself, like, if I wouldn't mind so much if Capcom took that money and put it towards Capcom Pro Tour. Like, I wouldn't care. Like, you could do a special costume that was like Team Ryu or an EG outfit for one of your fighters or whatever. You could do that. And I was like, that's perfect. That is the perfect way to do it. Because you're contributing as the community towards the like furthering of that community's esport. I don't know why everyone hasn't done it.
If I can be the yin to your yang here and kind of speak channeling you, talking to you marketing assholes out there, you can take a percentage of this, Like it's okay. You don't need to worry about it being absolutely lost revenue, right? Valve takes 15% on every transaction. Everyone. So when people get all hyped about, because if you don't know, you can sell little items in Valve's or Steam store essentially. They have stupid trading cards, and maybe you get a case in CS:GO, you can sell it for $1 or whatever. And then you have all of these non-physical digital items, millions of them, everybody making little bids on it. Oh, I want to have this gun and stuff and whatever. They do all sorts of ways to stimulate this basically because they allow community members to create skins for CS:GO weapons or maps or whatever, and essentially they monetize the DLC that way. And the money goes towards the esports events, but they take a cut of it, and they take a cut of everything. So it's easy money that gets people excited about it rather than you assuming you control the whole thing. It's a little more humble in that regard. It's still a business opportunity for you, and that's another thing. Esports events grow your game anyway. So stop nitpicking over the digital items you're selling.
Yeah.
The esports events grow your game.
Stupid fucking white people wanting to own everything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's all it is.
What I'm surprised Activision haven't picked up on was the endless fanboy support like kids my age have for teams like Optic and FaZe. So why don't they just like make a camo with like the Optic symbol on it and put it on a gun and sell that, and then goes to the prize pool?
There's been loads of talks of that. But
they should just do that. Like you see the people on Twitter who like post a picture of like the Optic hats and the Optic shirts, but just do it on the gun because everyone will buy it. Everyone already has their name in the clan.
I would never buy that.
I
would.
I know.
If they were smart.
You wouldn't. But
more people watch the Optic guys than play
would.
Ghosts. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
At least actively. I mean, there's a way that, again, Valve tracks player numbers oftentimes by unique users, which is something we don't really see because we only look at the active numbers. So I don't know how many unique users, because maybe is it 20,000 people new each day? Obviously, there's some overlap, but theoretically speaking, it could be different people and whatever. But regardless, way more people watch these gaming athletes than play the fucking game. So when they do go on the game, they'll feel a little more tied into it and like, yeah, I hate this game, but I like Optic. Like it adds value to your shitty game.
Well, it's because the competitive scene is such a different. We've had this discussion a million times before, but it's because the competitive variant is so different from the main game that a lot of people are fans of the competitive variant, but find the pubs completely unbearable to the point of like snapping their disc in two. And I can kind of understand that because unless you make the game fun and not put IEDs in it, people are going to stop playing.
Competitive people buy more skins too. Again, like CS:GO, Dota. They care about I mean, any game I think where you have a very high investment into, you care more about how you're portrayed in the game. Whether it's your World of Warcraft, what was the things called? Mount, the type of mount you have, the courier in Dota, or the skins on your gun. You know, it's meaningful to gamers.
Yeah.
Even if TheSneak0 doesn't think it's cool and it's a waste of money, which is fine. Because he's not as much of a nerd. He goes out and bangs bitches constantly. Picks them up. Hey, did you guys know I just hit 10K? Oh, yeah, TheSneak0. You're so dreamy. So dreamy and scrawny. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of this conversation's been a little not as exciting for me because I don't really play video games as much anymore. The only time I play Ghosts is like twice a month. I just stream and record for videos. I don't even game really anymore. It's far away. Like we're talking about the Titanfall patches.
This has flipped for me so much. Can I do this? Because
Yeah.
I've said exactly what Eddie said a week or two ago, where I only played for YouTube, which was true when I had a console. And not to PC Master Race, but PC Master Race! It's so fucking great! All the games are good. I play exactly what I want. I don't, fuck around with the 5 available games that you can have that have I just play what I like, and it's fucking wonderful. It's made me decentivized to do YouTube. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
No, even if I got a PC, I still wouldn't enjoy gaming. It's not really my thing anymore. The only game I actually fully enjoy that I sit down to play and enjoy myself with like a glass of juice and a pizza is Mario Kart 8. That's the only game I could sit down and be like, this is a lot of fun. Because I have ADHD, and when you play that game, there's constant colors flashing around you. You're never bored.
But
and so I can just see that and drive my
every 15-year-old has ADHD in America, so I don't know if that counts.
Sure.
I
Well,
didn't
not
mean
all
that
of them are
to hurt
popping
your feelings,
Ritalin in the morning.
Do you really take Ritalin?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. Cool.
God, you're so over. Well, I can't say that you are particularly, but Americans take so many drugs for everything, man. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's just like
I'm not even fully sure ADHD is a real thing.
You're just look, I'll explain this to you. You're highly functioning, you're intelligent, and you probably require a lot of stimulation, therefore you get bored when boring shit's happening, so you start acting out. And as you become more of an adult, that'll start happening less and less because you'll be like, oh, shiny things like boobs and nightclubs and telling jokes on stage, and you won't care so much anymore. But as you're a child, I was exactly the same. Exactly the same. I was one of the naughtiest kids in school just purely because I'm like, well, I mean, how do you all think so slow? Like,
that's why I don't like school at all. I can't concentrate because none of the classes I take I like. And if you're someone with ADHD, if you're doing something that you don't enjoy and that doesn't amuse you and stimulate your mind, it's torture. You cannot do it at all. Which is why I'm good at YouTube. Because I like doing it. It's something I constantly like doing. I always have to work, and I'm concentrated. I could always be doing something. A lot of time, we're gonna have 4 hours to kill. I can just work on a video. I could always do that. YouTube is a great place for me because I always need to be stimulated. That's how my mind works.
Yeah,
it's really helpful.
It's really interesting because when people say the sentence, "Oh, I'm bored," I want to punch their fucking teeth straight out of their face because I'm like, you do not understand the sheer amount of wonderful things in this world that I could spend 70 years obsessing about, but I don't have that much time. I can never be bored. It's impossible. I am the biggest magpie ever. I'm just like, oh, shiny, and I've lost 3 hours. Like, people who get bored...
It's like jumping down the rabbit hole of Wikipedia. Like, you look up one thing, and all of a sudden, an hour later, you're on this random page. You're like, how the fuck did I get here? Oh, I jumped down the Wikipedia rabbit hole. You know what I mean?
I do
And
that.
and with Americans, it's always throw medication at the problem, man. Like whenever I see the Larry the Cable Guy commercial talking about like the antacid, it's like, you want to eat chicken wings? Then have some fucking antacid if you get heartburn. It's like, no, if you get heartburn, there's something wrong with your digestive system. You should not be eating wings. Can we do that?
That's not the American way, Brian. I think you're a little confused. We take what we
I remember that
want,
commercial.
and we put Band-Aid solutions over it so we can enjoy our liberty.
Got a fucked up stomach but still want to eat wings? Throw some pills at the problem.
The commercial, like they can put a sleeveless guy like on a motorcycle, like the generic American dad with like the beard and the truck and everything. Like, you still want to eat burgers? Take these
I have
medicines.
type 7 diabetes, but I still want to pour down pixie sticks, have an antacid, you know? It's just like, really, guy? Come on now.
Merc.
Eat a fucking salad, man. Jesus. Someone
Salad.
give this man some vegetables.
Our salad is going to Subway and ordering a Subway.
Fucking salad is for communists.
Exactly.
I bet that there's a vague undercurrent of that. Like, it's either what are the blue collar insults? It's either fag, something's like vaguely homosexual, or something's communist, or
Vegan. That's pretty much
yeah,
it.
hippie.
Vegan is the word.
all that stuff. It's like
Tree huggers.
Yeah, tree huggers.
yeah, tree huggers. Yeah,
bleeding
you know, you
hearts.
don't
Godless.
godly. Oh, great one. Yeah, it's all that demographic. They all have that. What I should be free to drink fucking Coke, enough Coke to kill me in one sitting. Why shouldn't I be able to do that? You don't want to.
You don't understand liberty, Eddie. That's the problem. And the immense freedom that we have in this great land. Such a
Yes, of
douchebag.
course.
Well, I know poor Sneeko is a little bored of gaming topics. We're almost done, I promise. But
Well, no. I just want to point out how much better the show got once we loosened up and we started talking about things other than Titanfall and Battlefield. Because that happens a lot of every show. Like, something happens in a game, it updates, and then we talk about that for a while. And then we loosen up, and then we talk about like more philosophical
Right.
things.
Why are you breaking the fourth wall right now, motherfucker?
Yeah, we didn't give you that permission slip. You need to go sign the form 9741B, get your dad to sign it, send it back in, and then you've got the fucking break the fourth wall license.
in fact, I don't even know if we have a slip for him to be allowed on the show.
Yeah, that's
Shit, we probably should check that out. You're actually
Yeah.
18 as of right now.
Yeah,
Sneeko.
I think it's just because we're all gaming channels. Like the bits where we talk about games is just sort of like a vague lip service to this is the community that we come from. But on this podcast we've shat on gamers more often than we have Call of Duty Ghosts. So, I mean, I understand why you're like, yeah, it gets better when we loose up, but we still got to do it. We are gaming channels.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, people go to Frito's channel to listen to him say gamers are stupid. 'Cause they
I
are.
wouldn't really consider your channel a gaming channel because like 90% of the time it has almost nothing to do with the gameplay, and it's just a way to entertain the viewer. Because when you're doing a commentary like that, what else can you show? You can't just show you can't always just show your face. You got to put something on the screen. I don't really fully consider my channel a gaming channel anymore.
Yeah. I consider, I don't know why, but when I first saw Eddie's channel, like before I even knew, like I was like watching one of his random videos that I follow on Twitter, and I watched it, and I was paying attention more to what he was saying than it was like what I was looking at. And except like, you know, where he put the random texts in random spots and stuff like that make you like, you know, stuff like that. But I don't know why, but the first time I heard him, I could have swore I imagined like if he was recording, I thought like he was in a dark room, like lights off, like that one center like spotlight like on him, like chair, like bent over with a mic, like a comedy sketch, and he was just talking all this over and over and over again to me, and I was like, this is awesome. I was like, I'm gonna subscribe to this person because I've never like felt that. Like I usually, you know, this is me getting a chem strike. Like I've come to realize that I just hate going on channels. Like I won't even subscribe. If the first video I look on your channel and the first thing I hear coming out of your mouth is, "Hi guys, I'm blah blah blah, and this is me getting a chem strike," blah blah. I just go next video.
There's a massive tendency for me to just want to scream, "Nobody cares." Like whenever someone's like, "I got this chem strike," like with a channel like OP, it's kind of okay because that's what the channel is for.
That's what
People
you're
are
there for.
subscribed to it for gameplay. That's fine. But if you're just like if you're trying to be an entertainer and you're like, this is some weird little context of the stuff you're watching. I'm just like, nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. That's why gameplay has died. If you haven't picked up on this by this point, I'm sorry. But
What pisses me off even more than what you said is when they spend like 2 minutes explaining the gameplay and then say, well, this is not what the commentary's about. But the commentary's 5 minutes, and you spent 2 minutes just, all right, before I get into the commentary topic, just shut up and start. Like, and why do you have to, you don't need to spend that much time doing that.
If you feel like you have to let us know, why don't you just put text on the screen saying this is a gameplay, ghost of me getting a chem strike, this was my KD. Like, why do you waste our time, literally 20 seconds?
They're going to see that.
Name.
They're going to watch the video.
I'm not
They're
blind.
going to watch you get the chem strike. It's
Then I really hate it. I hate it when commentators are like, no, spoiler or no spoilers, but you should watch the whole gameplay because I do something really cool at the end, but no spoilers. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Just talk about what you're gonna talk. Like, God.
I made my first video on OP was all about that. I made like a 2-minute short commentary saying that how everyone on the PubSocket community, they just spend the whole commentary just explaining the gameplay that they're seeing at the same time. And I'm just telling you, like, you don't need to do that. Just talk about something else because
that was a great video. I mean, the leaders of OP, so like Brian, Liam, and Joe, loved it. But there are a fair few like people within the channel and like within the fan base that were like, "Who's this fucking smart ass little prick?" And I was like, "Well, you basically did a Paul Verhoeven. You were basically like, here's your shit, and now I'm gonna make you eat it. There you go." And people don't like that. People don't like, if you don't get that reference, look up Paul Verhoeven.
So
but anyway,
the video did really well and really badly at the same time because a lot of people were like, "This guy's the best thing ever," and then a lot of people were like, "Oh, just fucking faggot! Like, this is my thing. Don't ruin the protective little Call of Duty gameplay thing." And so I felt like I needed to expose that on the channel. I wanted to get people to know that.
You're not doing it right, man.
Yeah. A small little amount of people need to be pissed off. Or yeah.
A small amount, you say?
Yeah, Fredo's doing it wrong. He pisses everybody off.
I'll tell you what is a great video, LagCon podcast viewers, is Fredo's latest video. Like, not his dumb man talking, but his actual latest commentary is so fucking funny. Like, I watch it every time and I just die, and it's... I don't know what... You know when something's so great, but you can't exactly pinpoint what's so great about it? I have to keep watching it. I'm like, I don't know why I laugh here. Like, I have no idea. Like, it just... There's certain parts of it that just... Like, you do indignation at stupid people better than anyone else I know. There's this one bit where, like, because you've got a static mic, you just sort of lean away from it and you just go like, "Fuck yourself!" And it just makes me die. Just every
I had the same picture because you always do it in the podcast when you're like doing something. You just go, no, away from your mic and you go back there. I was just picturing you doing that.
Yeah, I suppose because I know you, I know exactly what you're doing, and that is always a funny image to me. So yeah, watch it. What should we talk about next? Fuck.
Well, I just want to point out, because I like to beat my chest and toot my own horn, TheSneak0, the video you're so proud of, can I at least get a footnote? Like, come on. I've said that shit for like 2 years. Everything you said is shit that you learned from me. Be honest about it. Be fucking honest.
I admit that. I learned from you.
Okay. I'm not upset. Because it's not like... there's... Okay, can I do...
Everyone knows it, too.
There's a difference between...
You educate me.
Yeah, right. There's a difference between learning viewpoints from other people and emulating that and, building that and literally taking word for word jokes I've said and redoing them. There's a completely different thing, right? So the whole thing of like, oh, modementators, why do you do this? Like, all of the modementator tropes was, TheSneak0's heard me say that for over a year before we really met face to face. So and also it's kind of hard to separate that information, especially when you watched a lot of my videos, as that being like, oh, I can't talk about that because that was more edgy when I was doing it, where no one agreed with me. Now everyone sort of just like accepts that now. But I was saying that shit before.
Appearance is everything.
I'm always the guy saying shit that nobody agrees with until like a year later.
I was watching
Titanfall, Black Ops 2, Momentators. I am fucking batting 1,000. I swear to God.
I remember I was watching like our the In the Bag episode that I was on, and like the first podcast I was in, where you both were telling me how I was going to be successful because I preach the same message you guys do, but I'm more relatable because I'm 15 and
Because you're a dork.
I'm more like them. Yeah, and I didn't.
Squeaker.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You
The
won't
list
believe
goes
how
on
many
and
times
on. I don't know how long you want me to go here. Go ahead.
You don't understand how many people call me Squeaker, but that's besides the point. You said that I was going to be more successful because my image, and I didn't believe you. I never agreed with that because I thought, like you guys, a lot of people wouldn't get what they're saying. They wouldn't understand. They'd feel it would look condescending, and that's completely untrue. Like recently, my channel has been almost exploding, which is I'm getting almost like 100 subs a day. People telling me that they agree with me, sending me messages on Xbox now. I don't.
Or in your latest video, Session joining you and shooting at you.
That hurts me. That's just annoying. I have to appear offline. I don't know how to do that. Just people. God.
Xbox, appear offline. Oh wait, that's the one command that doesn't fucking work.
Good job.
Like it will hurt your soul by like, especially if you're right. I've had it where I've been streaming, and I'm playing Cranked, playing against some people who know what they're doing, and I'm struggling a little bit. And then I've got one fucking idiot on my team who's just like shooting an unsilenced gun all around me, and I'm like I just turn around like my character, and I'm just like, no, and just leave the game. And then after the game, I'm like, I think normally that they're just being a dick, so I'm like, why the fuck were you doing that? And then they send me a message like, I'm your biggest fan and all this, and I'm like, there are much better ways to show your appreciation than making me fail. Like much better, like everyone.
Or DDoSing my stream.
Yeah, like
I love you. Pay attention to me.
pay attention to me, like
Notice
dude,
me,
like,
senpai.
like come on, man, like come on, you've got to not do that. It's gonna drive me fucking crazy. And I've been very good, actually. I've never sent a message after someone said they're a fan. I'm never like, well, fuck yourself. You know, I'm not like that. I'm like, you might want to think about not doing that because it's annoying when because I'm streaming right now. And loads of times they don't know. Why would they know? Like, they don't know I'm streaming. So, like, it's just one of those things. But be prepared to deal with a lot more of that.
I think what you should do is, honestly, you should make a video of you, like search up kawaii anime and, like, get that
I've seen
face.
that. Yeah.
And then, like,
I already have it.
Photoshop your face to look like that, and then just make a video, like a 10, 15-second video whenever you stream, and say, Senpai always will notice you, and that's all you have to post. And they will never bother you again. You will be perfectly fine. That's all you have to constantly say. I noticed you.
Sorry, go on.
No, yeah, that's all I was going to say. I was like, just people want to be recognized, that's it.
People always accuse me of calling my subscribers worthless because I have a series making fun of the dumbass subscribers I have. I have a big 12-year-old audience, so I like to make fun of them. But people accuse me of this because when I stream and people join me, they see my stream like, oh, I want to get in him. They spam me invites and they spam me messages. And the Xbox One VCR, when you get an invite or a message, it pops up on the screen like wide open on the bottom of it. It lags me out a little bit. I'm like trying to read this thing. He has sent you an invite. I don't care. You can't disable it, and they keep doing it. And I'm just like, fuck off. I say that to you blatantly, like they're watching the stream. Fuck off. And
you
then
don't have the
they get
360
pissed at me.
thing? Like, you know, like the how 360 you could like disable messages, like they don't have that on the one?
No,
Yeah,
because
you
in the
can turn
Xbox
that
One,
off.
they regressed functionality with their
What?
interface.
Microsoft is the only company that you pay more money to get less features. You should know.
What? This is news to
No,
me.
the worst was I was live streaming fun custom Black Ops 2 games. So basically, I host a private lobby and we play like stupid games like Michael Myers or like Schwanzi Says and stuff like that. And somebody joined my lobby and DDoSed the fucking stream because they got my IP because I was the host of the game. It's like, I am playing fun offline private matches. Are you that big of a fucking jizz bucket that you DDoS a fun custom game stream? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude, people DDoS charity streams.
That's
like,
fucked up.
I mean, like a cancer drive stream, like 24 hours for like Macmillan Cancer Trust. They'll get DDoSed. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah, you won't believe it, but it happens. Like, it's unreal. It's
I can see
unreal.
Frito's face how irritated it is that we derived off of the topics he had set in the beginning.
No, not at all. I don't
No,
know.
he's just annoyed that we're not talking about him. So anyway, Frito.
That's basically it. I was wondering when my name would come up again, and then I would jump in and acknowledge my greatness. Brian is the news guy, believe it or not. So don't even get on me about. I just try to have it in order, okay? Brian, don't blame him for your boring news topics, you prick.
Yeah, I wonder how the fucking Titanfall patch got on the agenda this week.
Listen,
Right.
if you assholes would do more than fucking jerk off before every show, then maybe we'd have an
I've got to get in
content.
character, Brian.
Yeah. I mean,
If you would have spent 2 less hours in hair and makeup, Eddie, maybe we'd have some
Hair and
content on the show.
He's got to position his beanie just right.
yeah, like I gotta make sure the like lip is like perfect and like symmetrical and all that.
I
shit.
can't work under these conditions.
Yeah. It's true actually. I mean, I love the fact that like me, Frito, and Brian do this podcast, but really Frito and Brian do all the work, and I just turn up and like crack jokes. Like that is like if you don't know, but like behind the music for H1 exclusive, I do nothing. I just turn up, put my beanie on, and say stupid shit. So they deserve all the credit,
Living the dream, baby.
but not all of the wages. So I'll get my agent to clear that up.
Right. He would be considered the talent. I have to look pretty and be charming, which he oftentimes does. God damn it. Well, if we can finish the gaming topics, that's cool. Because some people complain, believe it or not, when we don't do any gaming topics, which we oftentimes don't when we don't have anything to say.
Can you
Sneako,
just do?
Thank you very much.
Can you do an impression from your own video and just lean back and say "fuck yourself" to those people from me?
They'll complain either way. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. So tell them to fuck off.
the rage isn't there because it's just.
Right.
I really don't.
Can't fake this, ladies.
We
and
gotta
gentlemen.
wind. We gotta
care.
wind him up a little bit. We gotta poke the bear a little bit.
I'm in my happy place with you guys. I can't be mad. Unless Sneako kicks his mic again, then I might. Okay.
I wasn't even kicking my mic. It's just the Blue Yeti's on the table, and I would move my feet
Anyway,
around to get
Destiny could
comfortable.
outsell Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, says analyst. Battlefield Hardline unlikely to sell well.
Big fucking surprise.
You know what? This story is kind of interesting to me because I think, from what I've heard, that Destiny controls very differently. So when you're running, you can't turn very much, and when you're aiming down sight, the sensitivity is much, much lower than it is when you're just looking, and you can't set them differently like you can on PC. So I think that a lot of people are really excited about the game, but they're going to find an experience that isn't really like what they've had before. Yeah, it looks like Halo, and it'll basically, like the multiplayer works like a Halo might, but I think it will control very differently, and I don't know if the COD audience, the mass audience, is ready for that.
Can I just like? Well, you can go, Seagull.
Oh, I'm saying that's a good thing because I think what we needed is some variety. I'm getting a little tired of the same first-person shooter formula of just the same movement, the same everything. Titanfall is like the double jumping, whatever, but it's not too different from Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo. That's a good thing. It's a good thing to have something new. Gears of War tried to do that. I mean, they did do that successfully, but it didn't reach the mainstream audience. I think in Destiny already has that reputation that it's going to be mainstream. This is a good thing.
I'm probably gonna play like. Well, I'm not even devil's advocate, but I don't know if maybe because I play primarily on PC and I have just a shitty 360 over here, like collecting dust. But like I just don't. I don't know why. Like everybody's been trying to hype this game for me, and I don't know why for me, but I just don't see what. Like I look at it and I see Halo and I see Borderlands. Like, and I don't like Borderlands because it's too repetitive. And I've been shit at Halo. I admit it. I am absolute shit at Halo. So it's like nothing in the game. Like I was like, and I guess it's because I can't ADS in Halo. That's why I'm shit at it. I'm just guessing because I'm a casual. But I don't know. I don't know if maybe one of you guys can explain why it's like it's such a big deal. But like for me, I look at it and I'm just like. You know, I looked at the beta footage that was on PS4, and I know I'm like wrong because I haven't even played the game, similar like how I was with Titanfall. But it's like I look at it and I'm just like, okay, I can see the Halo stuff, I can see the Borderlands stuff. I hope it does good. I pray that it is successful, but it's just nothing here wows me like how Titanfall did. Like, nothing's like, oh my god, this looks awesome. Like, it's just like, this looks like a good FPS, but that's where it ends.
$500 million in development and marketing. That's basically where they're bringing this pre-order sales projection. But what the analyst says? Anybody can be a fucking analyst. There's no requirement for being right for analysts.
Yeah,
no one cares.
You need a sprinkle of mathematics and a sprinkle of bullshit here. No. I think that these numbers are projected on a basis of pre-orders, which, for Destiny, if you don't pre-order the game, you can't experience the beta. So I think that this is what is driving this number on this particular game through the fucking roof, as opposed to other games. Some people might be just saying, fuck it, I'm going to throw down $5 to pre-order the game just so that I can play the beta, and they might just renege on that fucking $5 later if they find out they don't like it. I think that this I think is what's going on with this particular scenario in Destiny. But hey, I am optimistic that another FPS game will finally give Call of Duty the fucking true burial it deserves.
Give it that work.
It just won't, and I'll tell you why. Is because at heart, the COD formula really works. Is that the formula of the game and why people liked it when they first played it is a great idea and almost infinitely replayable. That's why it won't be buried by a game that feels drastically different. It just won't, and it's not like Halo. Everyone's waiting for a game that is going to do to Call of Duty what Call of Duty did to Halo and just knock it off the top spot and then become the big thing. I don't think that's going to happen because no game is as accessible or as easy. Like, it just isn't.
Did it show the pre-order numbers? Sorry.
If you scroll down the article, there's actually a chart with the scores and shit like that. Believe it or not, Call of Duty is number 4 behind Assassin's Creed Unity and Halo, according to these projections. So Call of Duty isn't even close to number 1. If you look at the fucking rating, it is 99.7, whereas Destiny is 687. Those are like different fucking planets. I don't know.
I wonder how much of that is PS4 versus Xbox One. And
I also wonder if this is because Call of Duty Ghosts has been so fucking bad that people are like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done with this. That's how I was with Call of Duty Ghosts. Black Ops 2 was so bad for me that I was just like, I'm done. I'm not pre-ordering this. I didn't buy it, and I bought the game used so that I wouldn't give any money back to the publishers. And that's the same thing I'm going to do with Advanced Warfare when it comes out. I'm going to buy the game used because there's no way I'm giving them my money.
I think it has the capability to come back, but I do see it having a pre-order hit, Advanced Warfare. I think if it's good, it can pick up steam rather quickly, I'd assume, because it's just got that name recognition, and if word gets out that the new COD is good, it'll just pick back up.
I mean, right? it'll do like Black Ops 2 did. Like, MW3, for a lot of people, was so broken that they didn't pre-order Black Ops 2, but then after Black Ops 2 came out, they were like, okay, this isn't as bad as it was last time, I'm going to go buy it, kind of thing.
I think Advanced Warfare is going to suck, but the next Treyarch game is going to be like the next Call of Duty 4.
I think it's going to be too late at that point.
It will.
That's my last straw for that. I don't have any faith in Advanced Warfare, but next Treyarch game I really do. The extra year in development will really help out.
Yeah. But you can tell that what's his name, Sledgehammer devs are working like double time because they need 2 watches, right?
Inside joke.
And you wouldn't even believe the people that are like, it's not 2 watches, it's actually just a safety band. No shit, asshole, it's a joke. Calm the fuck down.
He still looks like a douchebag, folks. It doesn't matter.
He is doing like
mission accomplished.
He's like
flexing when he's pointing to the screen.
He's pointing at the screen, but he's flexing. He's like this screen over here.
That's how.
I need you to work on this game element, please.
That's how Advanced Warfare is planning on doing like the pre-sales. They're gonna get some bodybuilder to go check out this screen over here. Oh, wait a minute, we can go that away. Like That shirt is definitely 3 sizes too small on that dude. You can't even argue about that.
His hair too. He's got
parody
like, the
was
really
so
gelled
fucking
hair.
good.
The shirt. I laughed so hard at that. It was really good.
You just got like the persona of this like
Douchebag.
steroid using.
Oh, he's a bro.
Like yeah,
Bro.
like total bro developer, like bro nerd, which is a breed I didn't think could exist. It's like
How
watching a
does a
new
guy that
breed at
looks like-
Crufts.
How does a guy that looks like that get involved in video game development? You
That
know
is
what I
a very
mean?
good question.
By the way, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, one, on the OP channel, or is it on your channel as well, Brian? I can't
No,
remember.
it's on the OP channel.
Okay, it's on the OP channel. The
It's
parody
me and Eddie taking the piss.
of the Sledgehammer game trailer. And the lead guy at Sledgehammer Games, who's the founder of Sledgehammer, which is a nickname he had in high school when he played football, according to Brian in his little joke. But he looks he has a meathead head like mine, but he looks more like a douchebag because he wears like a gold chain and watch, and he's got, I don't know. I look like a douchebag. He doesn't look like
more
of a douchebag than me.
I work with computer programmers all fucking day. He doesn't look like a software developer.
Yeah.
He should be the community manager, way better than Tina. But I would love to see him as a community manager. I think he would be like Von der Hart tier.
Yeah.
Who's the community manager for Sledgehammer? Do we know?
No clue.
They'll probably use him because he's on every time they're talking about the game. They'll
He'll
probably
be
do like
their
a Von der
Von der
Haar
Haar.
did.
He'll be their Von der Haar. Because I think even though I laugh at him because he's kind of a douche, like there's something endearing about him because he's so like, bro,
Yeah.
played this game, bro.
Yeah.
I
He seems like a
respect
guy
that.
you sit down and have a drink with and be like, just talk about the game. Just even though you know it's gonna be shit, you just want to talk to him about it. Like, tell me more about your product, just so you could just laugh inside.
He's got that sort of like LA tan where his skin's probably too light a tone. Like if I lived in LA, my skin would be like dark. You know that dark red that people who have got pale skin get when they are in a hot climate for ages. He's got that like coming out of his shirt. I'm like, you've lived in LA a long time, or like
It's
or is
called
it San Francisco?
it's called the bro spray tan, Eddie. That's what happens.
Eddie can dream.
Instant orange. Just spray that shit before work. Pat it down. Squiggle your fucking chest hair to pop out of that second button right there, and you're good to go. That's how it's done.
I really wonder if it's going to be any good, but that's a
At
conversation.
the very least, I think he's the type of guy who will put his name on the game, kind of like Von der Haar did, and at least show up. You know what I
He'll
mean?
own it.
He'll own
it.
up. He'll own up if it fucks up. He'll own up.
As much of a douchebag as he, and here's a lesson to those of you out there who don't understand comedy, the type of people who say, that's not really a watch, those people, you can perfectly make fun of someone and still kind of like them, right? He is a douchebag. He looks like a fucking meathead douchebag, but we still kind of like him at this point. So, the floor is open
He hasn't
for
done
us to be
anything to
impressed.
piss us off yet.
That's exactly how all
Yeah.
of my subscribers are.
He hasn't yet said that their quick scoping will not be in the game, and yet quick scoping will be in the game. He hasn't said there are dedicated servers across all platforms, and there are not dedicated servers across all platforms. He hasn't pissed us off yet.
What do you think the nickname like we're all gonna give him is? Like, do you think
The
it's just gonna be
Hammer.
like Douche Canoe or
Oh,
something?
the hammer. Yeah, the hammer.
Say that. How did? It's like you read my fucking mind. That was so weird.
Well, it's kind of like it's off of Brian's premise, though. That was his
Yeah,
nickname,
You guys
but-
are internet gay lovers. You finish each other's sentences and each
Oh,
other's
right.
cocks, you know.
We like to finish each other's. We like to finish each other's.
Yeah,
I said it, but you all talked over me.
I didn't hear you. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you say sandwiches? Because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Over an ocean between us, but you can mail the sandwich over. Express mail, Amazon. Anyway, I
think it's just people wanting there to be, another game to come in and topple the juggernauts, the Battlefield and the Call of Duty, because they have for far too long gotten away with bullshit, as we have, clearly outlined in the previous hour of the show.
Our hero got shot, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
They need that. We need a Franz Ferdinand moment. Somebody shoot this motherfucker and start off a completely stupid, meaningless war. Let's do
War
it.
3, baby.
need a hero, baby. Take away the pain.
I don't know why.
You're combining two very bad songs into one one lyric right there.
I can imagine everything. Like, I can imagine, like, that Hero game coming out and, like, having that song, like, I need a hero to save me now. Like, I can imagine that being the background music, like, when they reveal it and everybody's like, oh,
Nickelback.
yeah, everybody's all happy.
Do you know what's really bad? Is Black Ops 1 used fucking Gimme Shelter by the Stones, one of my favourite records ever. And then for Modern Warfare 3, they used fucking Shoot to Thrill by AC/DC, also another one of my favourite bands. And then the fucking Vonderhaar had the fucking temerity to use Back in Black by AC/DC for Black Ops 2. I was like, this game's gonna fucking rock! And then I was like, oh, I'm firing marshmallows. This game isn't like an AC/DC song. This sucks. And then they changed it for Ghosts and made it all serious.
Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem got spammed in all the Modern Warfares. Close to.
Yeah, but it's fine though. At that time, both Call of Duty and Eminem needed to have their career resurrected. So why not just throw it together? At the same
Boom!
The shots. Okay.
All right, ladies. I really want to talk about this topic because this
All right,
is
go
very
ahead.
dear to my heart. At one college, League of Legends is a real sport. College scholarships to play League of Legends competitively. There's other facts here about the number of money that they're getting. And RMU's team will be competing to win North America Collegiate Championship and $100,000 in scholarship money. What do we think about this, ladies?
I think it's a sign of things to come. The whole, is it a sport, is it not a sport, does something have to have physical activity to be considered a sport argument I don't really want to get into. I think that it's popular enough so that this will become a normal thing. I think then I'll say this, it's very clearly competitive and codified in a way that the viewer can understand what's going on without having ever played it, and I think that more colleges will start to do this.
Yeah, like, I play League, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, like, some of them games, man, after you finish it, like, you can feel like you just shaved off, like, calories just by playing that game, just by you using your fucking mind in that game. But I mean,
I'm sorry, you hit a great tone there. I'll let you finish, but I can't remember where the fuck I read this or heard it. But supposedly you and this Brian's smiling like I'm gonna make a joke. No, this is very nerdy, Brian. I'm sorry to disappoint you. There is no punchline here, but he was anticipating me, and I'm like, fuck, he's gonna be so disappointed when he realizes this isn't funny. But you actually burn just as many calories in terms of like using brain power. Like the top chess pros burn as many calories as like a sprinter or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Check my facts. Feel free, but
no, you're right.
There's some level of
something.
truth to that. Where you feel fatigued afterwards, you're not using your muscles, but you're using different aspects of your body chemistry, if that makes sense.
You're onto something, because I was, believe it or not, before this even started, I was just reading art, like, based on I think Brian was sending the articles through Twitter. And I clicked on one, and then I don't know, I like you say, go down the rabbit hole. I was like just looking up new information, stuff that I could just get smarter about. And I was like, I know this whole sports thing's gonna come up. So then, because I've never been about the whole, like, I'd care less. Like, honestly, like, if it gets called a sport or not, like, I know, like, there's both sides for it, but I've been in the middle ground. Like, I tug both ways depending on it. But I got to an article in like I don't know what it was, some place in Europe, but they were talking about chess, and they were talking about like chess. Like, I think chess is considered a sport by the Olympics, and since that's considered a sport, and League is very similar, and they were talking about like the mind, and they were saying that maybe it's just the perception that we get, that we look at a sport and we see people moving physically, but we forget that this is all done through the mind of them choosing to do this, those certain acts. And that chess is the same concept, and that's why you can compare apples to oranges, because you use your mind in order for you to choose your plays. And something like League, you got to use teamwork like a sport, your mind to, make those decisions and play. So I've been in the middle about it, but I mean, like Eddie said, it's a good thing. Like, it's like I honestly want to see like ESPN show League of Legends or Dota or whatever. I would love like to turn to a ESPN 4 or 5 where they show gaming. Like, for me, I would just love that. But
the only reservation I have about esports and sports is that I think, I'm kind of strange. I played a lot of sport when I was a kid, and I think that playing sport, physical activities, especially team sports, is really good for kids.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really good for finding your own limitations and learning to overcome problems, and has really positive messages about being healthy and all that kind of bollocks that everyone cites. And I don't think that gaming has that to a certain extent. I think that gaming is it can be very unhealthy for you if you do it obsessively and poorly. Like if you're not eating properly, you're not drinking enough water, you're not taking breaks, you're not doing all that kind of stuff. And I just, I don't know. There is a part of me, I don't know how regressive it is, that just has a reflex against it and is like, I would always, even if I was a kid now, I would still probably rather play football in the park than play League.
Well,
that's just me.
I want to counter basically everything you've said in the past few minutes. I know you didn't want to talk about the sports debate, which I agree. I think it's already treaded ground. But an example that I haven't thought of until today, when the X Games came out, nobody was in a big upheaval that they're making a new version of the Olympic Games. No one cared because it's still physical activity, and it's still for portraying that level of athleticism, which we were talking about, the mind power. Anybody who's played Little League anything, or I didn't play Little League, but in high school, I've heard a lot of coaches say this, not just mine, but there's only so much you can do with your body. Most sports are very mental. I mean, they're obviously physical. There's no physicality to video games, but it's still got that mental component. And example number one is LeBron James, who is the pinnacle of basketball, yet he might have an off day because his mind's not there. He's not Jordan. And that's the counterpoint to that, where they draw those similarities. If we allow esports to just be called esports, and understand it's electronic, it's a new competitive thing, we should let it go. Now, what Eddie was saying about Brian, is that your phone? Whose phone is that?
Oh, you guys can hear that? I don't know what that is. Hold on.
Okay. I sorry. I hear a phone and I'm like, hello? No, but sports are very important, and I hate the concept of people thinking that esports takes away from sports, because I don't think it does or it should at all. It should just be another thing. We should still value kids playing sports, preschool to high school, but sports aren't for every kid. Not every kid. Now, we shouldn't go the other way and say, well, sports are kind of hard, so everybody should just play video games. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But there's some kids who physically can't play sports. They just can't. And they can have that same type of competition with esports. And what was the third thing you said after that?
If I was a kid, I said if I was a kid now, I think I would prefer playing football. But I mean, this is coming from someone who was good at sports. This is coming from someone who was good at, I did highboard diving, I played football, and I loved it. I got lots of joy out of it. So obviously, if that joy is there for me, then I'm going to want to do it. And maybe that's part of the reason why. It's not a question of respect.
I know what you're saying.
It's not that I don't respect esports, and obviously they're separate. They're not the same because it's called esports, right? And that's fine. I don't see why people get their fucking knickers in a twist about it. But I don't know. I recognise your point that not everyone is suited to physical activity, but I don't know. It's not about legitimizing. I'm not like parents against video games. Let's not legitimize a harmful behavior. I don't think games are like that. I'm not stupid, but I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's a nuanced message that you have to send. It's important to have your kids be active, but this isn't evil either. I mean, listen. I can't remember why the fuck I found this. I can't remember. I think I clicked on there was some drama alert that I went down a Wikipedia rabbit hole or something, and I ended up finding a picture of Scumpy with a shirt off. I don't know how I found it. Don't judge me. But
bullshit.
The kid is fucking ripped. Okay, he obviously works out. Right, and there is some fat, out of shape, pudgy
he's the
guys.
Exception, though. I think you would have to argue that even in competitive COD, he is the exception.
Well, maybe.
Most
but
of them aren't like that.
A lot of competitive people are competitive in multiple things, is what I'm saying. And being healthy.
His dad's a pro baseball player, though. Like,
know that.
I mean, yeah, his dad
adds
was
context.
a pro. Like, this is why he had all the time and money to practice, is because his dad's a, like, fucking. His family's, like, super
fuck
rich.
This kid. Oh, I hate him already. Damn it.
See, here's
I'm
the
gonna
thing.
stop Googling pictures of him shirtless now.
Yeah, you're just looking for red-headed youths because you want to replace me with a better-looking model. I
It's
think what
about
it
that
is.
time. You've reached your point, Eddie. It's all downhill from here.
No, I was going to say that I mean, I'm on the fence that, this is not what I think scholarship dollars should be going for. Because in the field of competitive gaming, I mean, I know that some of us in the show have seen the documentary, the free-to-play documentary about competitive Dota, where the margin of elite in that gaming community is so slim and so minute that unless you're the best of the best of the best, you're making fucking peanuts. You're not making jack fucking shit.
Well,
Whereas
right
right now.
Well, I'm saying at the moment, but instead, let's think about actual sports. A minor league baseball player is still making a somewhat living wage, whereas a quote unquote minor league Call of Duty player is making fucking bupkis.
What do scholarship money for lacrosse teams or chess scholarships, what do they net the people? Nothing. It's fucking worthless. Most sport scholarships are worthless. Not in terms of dollars, but in terms of quantity, most sports scholarships are worthless.
Well, I'm saying the reason why they hand them out is to attract the best athletes so that more people will want to root for their school and purchase all of the bullshit merchandise that they mark up like 570%.
Right.
You think normal sweatshirts cost like $60? No, of course they don't.
But
it's all money that goes back into the college. That's why they hand out scholarships.
But you're making an argument that it's a waste of their time, the people participating, because they're not going to make money after school. And my point is, that's the way scholarships always are. You just said it. You just admitted it. Scholarships oftentimes are a waste.
It's a little bit of both, though, right? Like, it is encouragement and a professional scholarship. I pitch an idea of I want to do research on chromosome configuration or some bullshit. So I get some bio scholarship and shit. That'll pique my interest, even if my research doesn't work. It'll at least pique my interest in that goal, and going forward after my career, I'll at least have some stepping stones. Whereas for competitive gaming, unless you're the best of the best of the best, you're not making shit.
It's the same way in swimming. Unless you're an Olympian, you're irrelevant. I don't understand your point. All scholarships are like that. That's my point. So are they all bad then?
Yeah, I think what Frito's saying, and I'm kind of agreeing with what he's saying, is he's like let's take a basketball player for example. Most of the people who play college ball, a lot of them don't make it. Like, some of them do not make it at all. Some of them, some
majority.
elite few. Same for example,
the people that have scholarships though.
It's the same
thing. The whole
thing.
team has scholarships, at least where I went to Marquette, which is from D. Wade went to Marquette, and he's the only big name to come out of Marquette in a long time. But all of them are on scholarship, and all of them are fucking beasts compared to the average athlete or person. But they're still not NBA. There's different levels there. So anyway, keep going.
Yeah. Same with my college. It's like I have all these we have ridiculously tall people. Good, solid, very good basketball players. But maybe only one out of the whole team might even get a chance to play in the All-Star game or a game to even get notice. It's like the same thing with league. It's they even stated the director who's deciding on these scholarships. He said this has also been beneficial for the college because now they have thousands. He's literally talking. He has thousands of new emails and people calling asking about this, and people who've never even heard of their college are now interested in this college because of this new program. And then not only that, but similar to any other type of sport, if they're good at it and they have a successful team, I'm sure without a doubt TSM or some other major league gaming type of team would be yo, this guy is good, let's throw him on the roster. I mean, it's similar in major league gaming for league. They actually have a legit draft. It's exactly like basketball where they draft and they change new people. So I mean, I see it pretty much the same thing or close to.
Basically, Brian, my
percentage-wise.
question is, we all agree that it benefits the school more than the scholar, right?
Player.
More than, okay, fine. We'll concede that point. Most scholarships do that. What is the gross negative here? Or you have to make the case that esports growing is somehow a negative overall to society, and then chess is, because neither of them are.
I mean, at the end of the day, right? It's esports, or the E could stand for entertainment sports, right? You know, like the WWE.
It's electronic. Get it right.
The WWE is an actual real wrestling. It's World Wrestling Entertainment, right? Like that's what people. If they want to pay for, a male soap opera, then be my fucking guest, I guess it'll be market price. If people want to watch other nerds game, then that's fine with me. I'm never going to pay to get and watch other nerds sit in a chair and compete. Sorry.
Well,
it's just not going to happen.
I think you haven't fallen into loving a game played at a high level yet. I think, Eddie likes fighting games. There's a few types of games
I would pay to watch the Evo finals.
Yeah.
I would.
Right.
I'd pay to see League. Yep.
This will grow as time goes on, where you might not even play a lot of these games and just catch it and say like, man, it's really cool what they're doing there, whatever appeals to you. And like I honestly think I got interested in Counter-Strike by watching the metagame of competitive, not knowing anything about it, and just seeing the way it plays out. And that might not necessarily make me want to play it. Now I don't really like to watch it because it is kind of boring to me. I understand what you're saying, but it got me interested in the game. And I think it's going to have that effect, vice versa, take your pick, on as esports is a bigger selling point of the market.
I think it makes you better too as a player. Like the more you watch, like more competitive players, like you learn new tricks and stuff that you wouldn't have normally from like a YouTuber. And a lot of times you see these YouTubers, I'm not going to make any names, but they take tips or they see stuff that they've seen like in competitive play, and they bring it over and they marginalize or they make it simplistic for a regular person to understand.
Oh,
I know
you're talking about T-Mart.
yeah, completely, yes.
I haven't watched his videos in like a year.
I haven't watched them in forever.
Hold on, but directed towards Eddie. Why? I just want to know. I don't understand the interest in going to a gaming event to watch a gaming thing live. What's the difference between watching it on a screen there and watching it on a screen at your home?
Okay, so for me in fighting games is that fighting games are really hype and they got a load of fans. But the reason why I prefer it to COD and why it makes COD look stupid is that all the top pros are mates, and they're on different teams and shit. But it's the FGC is a really strange community because there are elements of it that's like, when I first got into it, there were people online that were just like taunting me and acting like a dick, and I was like, this isn't how you get new players into the game. There's that, but mostly the gaming community, the FGC sees itself as a community and they really care about it. So they'll meet fans and they'll fucking play casuals with like the people that attend the event. So they got loads of like LAN setups, like aside from the competition arena, and they'll just play with them and hang out with them and be cool. Like in the recent like finals that I just watched, there's this player called K-Brad. He's a really funny guy, and he followed me on Twitter. And he was playing an English guy called Ryan Hart. And Ryan Hart won the bout by doing one of the hardest things that you can do in the game. And K-Brad got up and was celebrating with Ryan Hart because he knew how hard what Ryan Hart had just done to him was. He wasn't bitter. He wasn't like shooting bodies, it's the opposite of that attitude. And I would love to go to an arena and meet these guys and hang out and get into the community aspect of it, and you can't do that over a stream, although you can to a certain extent. It would be so much more hype to be in that room. The people that were in the room when Daigo did that parry thing that has been officially voted the best moment in esports ever, right? The people that were in that room, you can hear how fucking crazy they're going. Like they're watching history being made in front of their eyes, and that's why I'd go and see it. Because fighting games are so deep that it allows for shit like that. It allows for moments of true beauty. Like I said this on Twitter today. I was like, Street Fighter is beautiful at the top level, just like football is. And that's why I'd go and see it. It's the same reason I'd go and see a sport. It's the same reason I'd go and see like Messi play. Like I just want to see someone that good at something.
I'd like to answer Sneako's question, or Brian, I'll let you go. But first, I think a good point to chime in there as well. Something I think we've been meaning to say, and Eddie said it in the past, to kind of really contextualize the respect for esports, if there is any to be had. It's like playing a musical instrument in the same way. Like, we treat musicians as gods of controlling some sort of machinery, which electric guitars are. I mean, I guess acoustic isn't, but whatever. But anyway, controlling, you're just, it's all hand movements. And yeah, there's artistry there, so it's a different kind of realm, but it's very similar. When, what's his name, Daigo? Daigo. Doing the parry moves and hitting them perfectly. It's, it's just as jaw-dropping as seeing the Guitar Hero phenom do Through the Fire and Flames back in the day when probably nobody knew how the fuck to complete that in the first place. With two hands, and you know what I'm saying? It's
well, I would equate. I got like watching that for the first time. Because I know how hard that is. I was like, I can play Hendrix solos. Like some Hendrix solos I can play, and I was like, I could never do that. Like in that moment, under that much pressure, with 0 life left, one round away from being eliminated, with all those people screaming, I could never do that. I know I couldn't do that. And it's like watching, instead of learning a Hendrix solo, it's like watching Hendrix at fucking Woodstock play the national anthem. No one knew he was going to do that. No one even thought that he was even inclined to do that. But the people at fucking Woodstock would remember it. They're like, I saw him just do that just off the cuff. Just improvise like that. And that's why it's valuable.
See, here's my rebuttal to your little virginish trip to the fucking place where everybody watches people, is that when you go to a sporting event or go to a concert, you are seeing real life people in the fucking flesh.
That's why I see the appeal.
You're not watching a game on a screen, you're seeing people in the flesh. Whereas even if you go to the event, you're still watching the fucking screen. You're not watching the people staring. I mean, if you got nosebleed seats, then yeah, you might be staring at a screen at a concert, but if you were like at the concert or at a sporting event, you're watching the people right then and there in front of you. You're not like watching a screen. In both scenarios with esports, you're either watching a screen from behind your computer or you're watching a screen at an event. To me, it just doesn't that doesn't do anything for me. Even if there are people chanting your name and there's a whole community being hyped around it, I can understand that. But at the end of the day, you're still watching a fucking screen. I can have my buddies come over and watch the Call of Duty stream with me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you and your buddy, you go, oh, I'm having a Super Bowl party versus going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
No. But it's like, right, it's because you're not really into it. And it's true. Like, if you were really into
I don't think I'll ever be into something
like
that,
though.
But
that's fine. You don't have to be. But it's like, say you were really into poker, right? And you played the game yourself and you really understood.
Oh, I still don't watch the World Series of Poker, even
right.
though I play it.
People go and watch these guys essentially sit there and do nothing. Right?
Why do people
That's
go
what
to
poker
bars?
is. Poker is all up here. They look at their cards for like a split second. You've got cameras under the table, so you're watching a fucking screen. Apparently, that's the dividing line. You're looking at their cards, and you know what's going to come on the flop. What are they looking for? What are the chances? They've got all the fucking statistics for the audience and all that kind of shit. And if you're really into poker, that shit's going to be so fucking hype to you. But to a randomer who's like, oh, I like watching, the fucking Cubs or whatever, they're not going to care, but that's fine. But I don't think you can define it as valid or not valid. It's just something you're either into or not into.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm just saying I don't understand how people could get enjoyment out of watching
Game of Thrones, Brian.
So clearly, opinions are relevant. But I've been to Lambeau Field twice, which is the Green Bay Packers' home. Beautiful. The last game I went to was their playoff loss last year, actually. It was the coldest day ever at Lambeau Field, and we were playing the 49ers, who we fully expected them to kick our asses. We put up a really good fight, went down the last minute or so, and we lost. But there is a different atmosphere when you're around just the people. I understand the full argument about it not being appealing because they're playing a game. But regardless of all that, people go to events to be around other people, because when I'm in the stands saying, man, we really need to go on the shotgun more and slow down this pass rush and blah, the guy next to me saying the same shit, and we're high-fiving when shit's going on, we're like, and the screaming and the chanting to help, it's a communal thing, right? And it's much
it's
better
a tribal
to watch,
thing.
It's much
Like,
better yeah, exactly.
I agree with you, Frito, completely, but the thing is, it's totally different when you're at an esports event. Because you're with
it's
all
much
these
better to watch
gamers.
football on the TV, though, where they explain everything to you. My wife was with me. She had no idea what was going on. I had to basically John Madden the event for her and say what the hell was going on. It's the same level of intensity. If you understand it very well, you're going to fit in more there. And
You're going to fit in, but when I go to a soccer game, when I go to, like, last summer, there was a bunch of teams from Europe came over to Yankee Stadium, and they played soccer games. I saw Real Madrid versus AC Milan. And when you're surrounded by all these people who come together and enjoy the same thing, and they're all chanting at the same time, that's a lot of fun. The same thing can happen at esports, but it's definitely not the same thing. Even if you enjoy it, it's definitely not.
Have you seen the Koreans play StarCraft? That's all I gotta say.
Have you seen the Daigo moment? You need to understand.
I've seen the Daigo moment. I've seen
right.
it.
Watch the
Case
room.
Closed. Case
Watch
closed.
the room.
It's the same thing.
Watch when it happens and they turn the camera around and look at this completely
They're doing
packed hall.
backflips, for Christ's
They're
sake.
just going crazy. They're like, Jesus has just. This is the second coming. How are you not hyped for this? Like, I will just say this: is that it's not the only way to appreciate something like that. I found it really interesting and really heartwarming about the US soccer team, right? So my Twitter timeline was complete AIDS that night because I was taking the piss out of the Americans, like, I'd rather Scotland won the World Cup than you. Hell, I'd even prefer fucking Germany to win than the USA, which was a joke, and that's banter. Now, that is a British sense of humour. It's uniquely it's uniquely football, but it's more British than anything else, is that you're allowed and, in fact, required to give your friends shit about their team.
You're just still pissed off about the Revolutionary War. You guys won't get over that.
No, you have to. And that's what, when English people say banter, that's what they're referring to. And I got loads of butthurt Americans being like, Sieg Heil USA! Sieg Heil USA! I was like, no, you're taking this too seriously. You're not understanding what's going on. We're having a cultural exchange. You're supposed to take the piss out of me now. The perfect comeback, and I tweeted this, your perfect comeback would be, when's England's next game? Yeah, and I was like, I'm doing your fucking work for you. You're not getting into the fucking, this is what football is. This is what it is. This is why everyone loves it. And then when America played really well and narrowly lost, and there were hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people sharing this bonding experience and loving Tim Howard and the pain of going out and yet the joy of playing so well, I was like, now you get it. You're getting the first taste of why the rest of the world thinks this is the best fucking thing in the world.
So basically,
kind of like, and I said better late than never, kind of like World War II. To which my fucking like interactions just went.
Yeah, we got like 30 favorites in a minute.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Well, loads of big English YouTubers retweeted it, and it went beyond the YouTube community. People thought it was really funny. So, and yeah. It's just,
I mean, basically, Eddie, what you're saying is the reasons why Americans don't like soccer is because we can't shit talk very well.
No, it's because you take yourself too seriously. You don't banter like the rest of the world does.
I think that's false. I think the internet people, it's a different subgroup. I think it's not. Because the English people are just as uptight as you're saying Americans are, at least to me. And maybe it's the other way around where, the Americans don't get you and the English people don't get me or whatever it is. But I think it's the internet age demographic, not because I know plenty of people who banter with me just like I banter with you guys all the time. So I don't know what you're talking about with these Americans don't understand. To me,
I would say that American sports fans are very, like, there's a level of fervor to their patriotism that isn't
soccer riots. That's all the counter I have to that.
Eddie's right. I went to a viewing party for the Ghana game and for the Portugal game, and for both of those, at one point, someone brought a flag and it fell on the ground, and like 10 people started getting mad at the guy who dropped the flag, and he picked it up right away, and a guy wanted to provoke a fight. because the flag fell on the ground. We're too patriotic. We don't understand how soccer works. That's why the World Cup is. We need more of those. It happens every 4 years. We need more, because people who say soccer's boring, this World Cup proved that it's completely wrong in every aspect. Because not one game was I ever, like, anyone really, like anyone I saw it with, was anyone ever bored at any point.
Was it a game? Well, here's the true question though. Did you watch fucking, Unspecifiedistan and fucking that weird island off the coast of Australia in a football match? Did you watch two random countries, or did you only watch the U.S. games?
Well, TheSneak0, he can answer how he wants, but
I'm just insinuating that, yeah, it's good that the United States team did well, but I don't think people give a fuck about soccer because they won't watch two random fucking teams.
Well, mostly when you're a soccer fan, you're going to watch your favorite soccer team. You're not going to watch a random team that you don't care about.
It's a lot more common in Europe to watch all the games. It is.
Yeah, I watch all the Premier League games.
When England went out, like, I made a joke. I was like, because Zoe's like she's like third generation Dutch or whatever, and we're not like married or anything, but Holland were doing really well and they just thrashed Spain and we were out, and I was like, have I ever told you I'm secretly Dutch? Like in England especially, it's customary that when England get knocked out inevitably on penalties, we didn't even make it that far this time, like that we'll pick another European nation that we don't have some sort of ancestral beef with. So for starters, the Germans are out for very obvious reasons.
France.
The French have this one-sided hatred of us. We don't really hate them at all, but they can't fucking stand us, so we can't support them. The Italians were kind of okay with, but like there is that sort of like cultural. They were part of the Axis powers. Like
they were fascists.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, and the same with Spain. So we're kind of like left with Belgium, right? We're left with Belgium, Holland, and the Scandinavian countries.
Poland.
Yeah, Poland. True. Yeah, Poland too. But I think just for the glamour, it's the Dutch, because they got a sexy orange kit. They're like all in orange. They're called the Orange. That's their name, the Orange. Like, it's the stupidest fucking team name ever. But like, it is quite common for us to watch all the other games, especially of like a European neighbour. So yeah, I mean, I suppose when the US takes it as seriously as us, then it'll really
But I also think steering the wheel back, I think that this is why competitive esports is, different than regular sports too, is because even though I know people have their favorite competitive Call of Duty teams, you'll watch all the matches anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter who's playing. You're never going to be like, oh, it's the fucking, the fifth place bracket. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean?
Oh, wait. I'm confused. What was your point? They only watch their favorite teams, or they watch everything?
No, I'm saying it all started with Sneako talking about how the U.S. is now going to get into soccer, and I'm like, no, they won't, because they only watch the U.S. games.
They'll start too, because the World Cup is bringing that in. It's on all these players. A lot of these players. Tim Howard plays in Europe. He plays for Everton. Clint Dempsey used to play for Fulham and Tottenham. Now he plays in Seattle. All these players are from around the world. A lot of them aren't even American. Like 8 players we have are German anyway. And so when they all come together for the U.S. and they all like represent our country, we all get excited and we all like that. And when we see our team do well against big teams like Portugal, Ghana, and Germany, we see that we only lose 1-0 to like arguably the best team in the world, the best country in the world. We start to get in there, and we start to realize that maybe we're not as bad as we think we are, because we always make fun of how we're never going to win the World Cup. But the World Cup, it's gesturing us in there, because soccer is the best sport in the world. It's not even arguable.
You're still missing my point, though. My point is that the people who just watch the U.S. soccer game loss, they're not watching the rest of the World Cup games. They don't give a fuck. Well, where the U.S. is out, they don't give a fuck.
I would say that that's probably true, but what Sneako's saying is that really, I think it's generational. I really do, because I think Sneako's generation will be more inclined to be world citizens and involved in the global community than I think older generations of Americans are. I think America has been an incredibly insular country for a long, long time, and I think that's present in how they look at sport, how they look at politics and economics, and I do think that there's a bit of a cultural shift, and I think that you're right to say that the people that were hyped about the World Cup who are only watching it because America were doing well won't give a fuck. That's probably true until next time.
Yeah.
And that
I still don't think
it's
I mean,
changing.
maybe I'm just
That's-
being
yeah.
cynical. I don't think it's gonna matter.
That's not.
Well, okay, hold on. If you go into a school, you go to like a second grade classroom, how many kids there are going to be playing on their rec league soccer team, and how many of them are going to be playing baseball or football? Soccer is the most accessible sport. It's easy to play. Everyone likes playing it. And now, I mean, maybe you don't see that as much, but everyone plays soccer. It's more than you think. Like the next kids, they all play on soccer teams. We have a term soccer mom. We don't have a term of baseball mom.
And it's a negative connotation, by the way. But
Yeah.
I would like to put my foot down on World Cup talk, if we can. I know you guys could argue about this till the end of time.
No, I was just gonna make one more point in that the soccer league in the United States is not the best soccer league in the world, whereas baseball,
bad.
football,
And we
hockey,
can't have
NBA,
that, right? We can't have. This is
no,
America.
we're
So we might as well
This
just
will
own
not
it
get-
entirely if it's not
I'm
the
just
best.
saying this is not going to get people in America interested if we don't have the best soccer league in the
Right.
world.
Actually,
Whereas we have it for football, we've got it for basketball, we've got it for
That wasn't his
hockey, we've
point.
got it for
It'll get
baseball.
interest in the
Anyway,
sport in general. That's all he was
Let me
saying.
just say one last thing: is that soccer, a lot of it, I called it soccer. I can't believe. Oh,
Thank you.
Take me to the fucking church of football. But
1 point.
the thing about it is that I think a lot of the reason culturally why football hasn't sort of taken root in America is because of that obsession to be the best. A lot of the beauty of football is that quite a lot of the time it's not actually about winning, because there's so much joy and suffering in every game if it's an international. Like if it's a major tournament, like it doesn't matter that England went out of the group stage. There's 60 million people that watch that game in their front room with their families around them. And it's about that experience. It's not like, as English people, we realise that we're probably not going to win the World Cup because we don't have the best team. It doesn't change our love for the game and our passion for watching our team play. That will never change. And it's almost removed from the objective of winning or losing. And that's why
America's learning that.
yeah. Like you don't always have to win. Sometimes there is joy in a loss because you played so well. There's honor, like to put
I think
ridiculous
all sports fans
connotations to it.
understand that, though.
Yeah.
All real sports fans understand that. But anyway,
Like
you're
the-
appealing to things that everyone should know who loves any sport or any activity that requires skill at all. But something I was thinking about when you guys were talking and I was ignoring you and thinking about myself. When I said that Americans don't take it that seriously, I thought about it a bit, especially when those of you listening at home, whenever you say, well, I don't know people like that, so therefore it's not true. I think I'm leaning towards Eddie being right, except where I'm from in the United States, it isn't really that case. On the East Coast, motherfuckers are getting fights over baseball teams. And over here, we have the Milwaukee Brewers, and they're fucking terrible. No, baseball is a casual event. Like oh, maybe we'll go get a hot dog and a beer. That's the way that baseball's considered over here because the teams are terrible.
Tell that to the guy that got beat up in the fucking Dodgers parking lot that's in a coma.
Right.
Baseball. I mean, it depends on like.
That's
people.
LA, though.
In the
There's
Midwest,
always-
we're more Canadianized. Basically, is my point.
There
We're
are going
much
to be
chiller.
There's going to be assholes in sports no matter what.
Right, but there's a much more intensified culture around sports in the bigger markets. To be honest, like the people talk about playing American football. You don't want to, so Eddie doesn't get soccer confused again. American football. For the New York Giants or something, or the New York Jets, and the media just destroying Mark Sanchez or something. Like, it's a totally different culture in the other states where we're just more casual Americans. But yeah, that's all I want to say. Because when you got to remember, European countries are fairly small, so they're almost the size of big American states. So I'm not saying like, oh, we're a mega country. We have many little countries, but we kind of do in terms of the demographics of how different people segregate themselves. Oh shit! Hit my cup.
No, it's a salient point. I think that's right.
And
Not completely. It's
people
like
call me rude when I say things like that, but Texas and the Midwest and the East Coast have the way people act. It's almost like the different European countries in terms of like their ideology and just the social mores. Have you traveled, Nico? Trying to challenge that point.
Well, I'm not. It's not as many little countries. Like in Europe, you have like differences between like Romania, Greece, Poland, Germany, and they're all so close to each other. They all have different languages and their own cultural backgrounds.
Well, it's worse because the United States is bigger. Like it's even
we're
more
bigger,
spread
but
out.
the cultural difference is not that much. Like people in Tennessee and from Texas aren't that much different. People in the Midwest.
That wasn't my point. I was talking about regions: Midwest, East Coast, South.
Okay,
that's what I said. West Coast.
Even in
quadrants.
a tiny country like mine, we have massive cultural differences between London and Liverpool and Manchester.
Right, it's not about space. That wasn't what my point was.
Yeah, but I recognise what you're saying. I think it's true. I think it is true.
Anyway, let's lighten the mood a little bit with some talking about sex, baby. It's talk about all the good things and the bad things. Fuck, marry, kill. The guests have to choose. Of the other co-host and guests, we have. Let's see. Is this gonna work out? There's 4 people, so someone has to be left out in your fuck, marry, kill. Unfortunately, so you choose unless you want to kill 2 people. Am I doing this math right?
Yeah, we should kill 2 people.
Okay, fuck, marry, and kill 2 people. 2 people get the axe because hey, we play shooter games, so we like to shoot things. GamingEthos or TheSneak0, whichever one of you guys want to go first and talk about sexifying another man on the show, feel free.
1, 2, 3, not it.
Actually, Peter, check your Twitter. I messaged you 20 minutes ago saying I had to leave.
You can feel free to leave.
I don't want to bail out of this segment though. So it's gonna be my favorite thing.
Motherfucker.
Well,
we'll just do it quickly then.
Make up your mind.
All right, so I'd probably marry Eddie because we're the most similar, and I can steal his content even more if I'm closer to him. We could have intellectual conversations. No one.
I'd give it to you for free, my love.
I'd probably kill Frito because fuck Frito. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering of what if the same scenario would go back. I'm wondering what Frito would do to me. And so I'm thinking,
you know what he would do to you.
I know what he would do. So I'm trying to eliminate that scenario by killing him. So just get that out of the way.
So you're gonna let the creepy uncle live? This is weird.
I'll probably have the one night stand with Schwantz.
All right.
I just want to hear this one-liners while he finishes. See what he says. And Ethos, my bad. But I think we didn't say we have to act 2 people. I'd probably also marry you because it's legal in my state.
Ignore.
You can ignore. That works.
Yeah, ignore. Not 2 kills. You would fuck, marry, kill, and ignore.
You're such a
I don't know
Ethos.
I don't know you enough to give you a possible. I don't know.
Recognize the violence.
You gotta be careful.
Anyway.
So yeah, Sneako's done.
Okay, you're
What
free
about
to
you,
leave
Gaming?
at any time, Sneako. I don't want your parents to get mad at you, so. I mean that.
What are you going to do anyway? You're going to some sort of like Republican think tank meeting or something?
He didn't answer. I'm assuming.
It's probably exposed.
Shit, how'd they find out about that? All right, Ethos, it's your turn now.
Fuck. Okay. This is a trick question.
Well, there's right answers in there, believe me.
I could do the easy way out and copy Sneako's, but I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. God damn it. Okay. I'm gonna marry Brian because his catchphrases could get us through the hard times. And
keep in mind, when you're married to Brian, there are no hard times.
Wow, shots fired.
Oh, I didn't even mean sexually. Oh, fuck.
Oh, that was good.
Damn, that was
I
unintentional.
thought you were talking about my dick.
Brian.
Stop talking about my dick, Frito. No hard times.
I just mean you support that fam.
Damn. Okay, is Sneako involved too? Can I ignore somebody and kill somebody? Okay. All right. I'm gonna let Frito walk away.
Yes. Live to
All
fight
right.
every day.
Wait, no. I take it back.
Uh-oh.
Wait, who did I say I was marrying? I was marrying Brian, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
marrying
good.
Brian.
You got a ring on it, baby. Let's go.
I don't know who I'm gonna fuck. Honestly, I don't know. Okay, I could fuck Eddie, and I'd get that nice British, nice British tone.
Mhm.
But then again, I could fuck Sneeko, and I'd probably be on top, so I would be better off with Sneeko.
Their physique isn't much different, to be honest.
No.
I don't know because I have never seen any like full body, so I don't know exactly. Frito would probably take total advantage of me, so I probably would have to ask Frito as much as I don't want to, even though I agree with a lot what Frito has to say. But it would be between Eddie the Chump or Sneeko I was fucking, but I don't know. So Frito, I leave you in the go.
I don't know if he'd be on top or not.
We would find out, but yeah, I think out of all my 3 options, it would be best. I'd say I'd fuck Eddie because I think it would be kind of, just British, having like a British one-night stand in London, and then smoking cigarettes, I think that'd be really nice.
And remember, my cock isn't massive; it's gargantuan.
So I can at least look forward to that, and then I can be one of the people on his videos when he brings that up and say he's lying, it's not true, constantly.
Don't you want to have the bragging rights that you slept with an Asian?
That is true though. I'm pretty sure if I married Sneeko, our babies would be
Also,
amazing.
Extra ethnic points, a Blasian at that.
Yes.
Not
Yeah,
just a straight
also-
Asian.
I'm a quarter black, so kind of like
It would
you're
mix
Blasian.
out pretty well. I think we'd mix pretty well. We'd have great kids.
I wasn't talking about our children. I was talking about.
Oh, well I guess now I'm getting married to Sneeko.
Wait, what about me? You already put a ring on it. I'm not giving it back.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna need that ring back. I'm gonna give it to Sneeko. I'm gonna make you my
Oh.
side. Can I make you my side, bitch? Would that work?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Oh, we've got a gay divorce happening here.
Wow.
Brian could be the.
That, was
Brian
the shortest, that relationship was even shorter than the one that I had with my left hand last night.
and you didn't get a prenup, Brian. Unlucky.
None of this can even happen with Frito. He has to be ignored because none of it's legal in his state.
right.
Where do you think I live, you jackass? What are you talking about?
Is gay marriage legal where you live?
I haven't checked. I don't know. It might not be.
Well, if unions aren't, I'm pretty
I
sure.
highly
that
doubt it.
If worker unions aren't legal where he lives, I'm pretty sure that gay marriage isn't either.
All right,
Yeah.
ladies. Did we want to close the show here? What do you
Sure.
think? We are at-
Yeah,
I had to take care of something.
we're gonna follow Sneeko at the door.
Sounds good. I mean, whenever he walks away, I like to be paying attention. So
Party at Sneeko's house. Ice cream party. Let's go.
I hate to see you leave, but I love to see you walk away.
I was just gonna say that.
I knew you were
just
gonna
gonna say that.
Have fun at your young Illuminati meeting.
Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, to LagCount Podcast, the best goddamn podcast in your sub box. Be sure to check out both of our guests from this evening, as well as the show sponsor, Jeff Spicoli. I think he makes Italian food on his channel or something. No, COD Commentaries and Battlefield, as well as ripping off Eddie, which, come on. everybody
Fast
does
times
that.
at Ridgemont High. Let's go.
Nope. Yep. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.